of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And the weather is brought to you by Gutman Law, Wills Trust and Probate Law. Visit gutmanlaw.com. Here's Chris Schaefer.
Quiet and cool is the rule for the next couple of days. Partly cloudy tonight, will fall back to 38, so a chilly start tomorrow with a partly cloudy afternoon and a high around 57. Not quite as windy tomorrow. Partly cloudy, mid-50s again Thursday. It's not till the weekend we warm to near average in the 60s.
54, mostly cloudy. I'm Mark Fry, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Still Minnesota's heartbeat. News Talk 830 WCCO. You're thinking about it. Jason's talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
22 search warrants today. Fraud in the crosshairs in Minnesota. Are you buying it? Are we taking this seriously now? And do you buy the fact that the state of Minnesota, the attorney general, the governor, that they're taking credit for it? 651-461-9226. It's Drive Time. Jason here. Mark Fry had the update about these search warrants as part of the ongoing fraud investigations. And yes, they did raid the Quality Leering Center on Lake Street. My initial reaction to this today was good. I'm glad we're raiding places. But I also think I've never doubted that Minnesota is good at catching fraudsters. We have great law enforcement. We have incredible investigators. The state BCA is on it. Very good. These are the FBI. We've always had good cooperation between these agencies. And what we don't know how to do is catch it on the front end. What we don't know how to do is design systems that actually get benefits to people who need them and also make sure that the fraudsters don't take advantage of it. So I guess today I feel no different about Minnesota's approach to fraud. And frankly, I've been a little frustrated with the legislature that even though fraud was supposedly job one, they haven't done dink as far as I can tell. Nothing. No new auditor, no new agency, no new approach, nothing. So good, I guess. 651-461-9226. Tim is in St. Paul on the CCO talk and text line. Tim, your initial reaction to hearing that we had the big FBI raids today?
Well, I haven't gotten the entire scoop, but I do want to say that I'm very shocked and disappointed that Wells and Ellison and Omar, that they haven't all resigned their posts. The fraud, I mean, I think each Minnesotan right now is responsible for probably about $10,000 in bills for this. We all have to pay that. Plus, we didn't get our $2,000 tax rebate. And it's amazing that these people can actually, not resign. And it's amazing. It's even worse that people aren't forcing them to resign. I don't understand this. And I think Trump needs to get involved and to do something about this. Minnesota is really embarrassing our country right now.
Well, Tim, not only were people not resigning, but I do think there was pretty widely reported incidents of fraud with the Feeding Our Future scandal prior to the last election. So the voters actually sent these folks back to office knowing that fraud was out there. Now, I don't think we knew how widespread it was. I will say this, I do want to see more prosecution and more raids, because what we've had so far is sort of this estimate like, oh, we got $2 billion worth of fraud. The president keeps saying $8 billion or $9 billion, but the prosecutions have only covered what? We're up to about $500 million worth. Now, $500 million is still like a disgusting amount of fraud, but the number of prosecutions to me should be much, much higher.
Absolutely. It's worse than $500 million.
Yeah.
There's
no
a
doubt.
lot of wasted money, and the voter rolls are bad, and they're covering it up, and they're preventing people from investigating. I actually ran into the Attorney General at the tire place. We had a flat tire. He implied physical violence against me.
What you? I mean, you're just dropping a lot of stuff here, Tim. Like what?
What
happened?
Well, I'm part of the the CenturyLink settlement. I've been waiting for 6 years. I actually called his office 83 times in 6 years and never got my money. Reported there, they actually banned me from attending in person. They mentioned COVID last year. This is the kind of thing, and so, and the people, it's funny because people will vote for these people because they just don't like Trump. It's just, we got to be objective, and we got to be able to criticize our own parties, by the way, too. I do Republican. Trump isn't perfect, but, we all have to be objective and to be honest with each other. I don't think the Democrats are capable of that right now.
Thanks, Tim. I mean, there's a lot to chew on there, right? But I think we all can agree that Trump isn't perfect. I mean, if there's anything that Tim said that you could grab onto and say is a unifying statement.
That's an objective truth.
Not who among us are? Who among us are? I don't know, man. I don't know. There's so much happening. React if you want. It feel like you guys know, like
to your original point. If we could,
where were we?
This is a step. The FBI coming in and conducting these raids, and again, nobody was arrested today. This is just serving search warrants.
How many times did Tim call the Attorney General's office? You think 80? It was over 80.
It was 83, is what he said. So I don't know if he's counting or they're counting.
I can't imagine that Tim would have done anything or said anything that would have provoked a response.
Not at all.
From the Attorney General.
Not at all. This is a good step, but it's not like, I don't know. The governor's tweet today about this rankled me in saying, because they're sort of like, see, we did it. We're good.
That's right.
Which is kind of what he's been doing this whole time is really nothing to see here. And if you want to know why he's so unpopular that he's not going to run again, there you go.
So the governor, this is part of my frustration with the Walz administration. His response on X. If you commit fraud in Minnesota, you're going to get caught. And that's exactly what we saw today. We catch criminals when state and federal agencies share information. Joint investigations work. Securing justice depends on it. And then he says, today's raids by state and federal law enforcement happened because our state agencies caught irregular behavior and reported it. That's how the system is supposed to work. Kash Patel responds, come again? This FBI and DOJ with our DHS partners drafted and executed every search warrant today, but go ahead and take credit for our work while we smoke out the fraud plaguing Minnesota under your governorship. My guess is that the truth is somewhere in between these two goofs. And I do not think that the state can take 100% credit for this. Rhonda's in Carver. Rhonda at 651-461-9226. I mean, yay for joint investigations, Rhonda, but it's a little hard to believe for me at this point, right?
Well, I'm not commenting so much on that. I'm more about just the overall topic is that I'm delighted that something's being done. I like that these raids have happened. I don't get overly excited about it. But it is frustrating to me as a Minnesotan, and I've only been back here for 2 years. I was in Wisconsin for 30, and then I moved back home for some family stuff. But anyway, it's still sad. I'm very sad that people still have not been fired for what's been happening. And I'm probably the most frustrated that it seems like they still haven't stopped sending checks a lot of checks are still going out to these places because they haven't had the time to research it more or something. But I think that's my biggest frustration is that I think the money is still going out. And I don't think Ellison and Walsh deserve a lot of credit, but I'm not going to bash them either.
Yeah, I mean, right. Totally agree with you on that. And Rhonda, I think, my frustration, I guess I will say that if your first reaction on this is that taxpayer dollars are being wasted instead of people who really need help or not getting the help, that to me is the bigger issue. Like, there are people who need autism treatment. There are people who need daycare support and people who need food. And that is what was stolen. Yes, I want my tax dollars to be safeguarded, but I was going to pay those taxes anyway. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not that frosted that, like, my money was stolen. I'm frosted that people in need are not getting the help they need.
I'm probably frosted at both. I really don't want my money stolen, but I honestly, I agree. I want those who deserve it to get the money. I'd rather put it in the public schools system than give it to somebody.
It makes you doubt everything, though, doesn't it? That's
it does. I'm sad I moved back. Some days I'm just embarrassed because my Wisconsin friends, of course, are constantly reminding me, because there's so much competition between these two.
No doubt. Well, we both lived I lived in Wisconsin too. They got their own problems there as well. Like, let's not act like, it's not all cheese and sausage over there.
Yeah, that is true.
Thank you, Rhonda.
Anyway, all right.
Very good.
Bye-bye.
Good call. Appreciate it. 651-461-9226. Keep the reaction coming and chew on this. Do you think the fact that tonight is the governor's State of the State address, do you think that played into these raids? Why today? Little suspicious, isn't it? I'll share what I'm thinking about that in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, let's clean up your yard. It's Jason here from my friends at Pro Turf. The website is professionalturf.com. The service is 100% professional. It's a locally owned. And I got to tell you, that matters to me. It does. There are all sorts of national companies who are promising to come out and put down the weed treatment and the fertilizer and make your lawn look great. Don't you feel better going with a local company who's been at Lakeville for 40 years? Some of the techs who work these routes have been there for 20 plus. Friday, Pro Turf's coming out to my house to do some spring yard cleanup, cutting down the grasses and hauling it out. They do small landscape projects and they do big ones too. They'll start up your irrigation system. They came out to start mine and found 4 leaky valves in the thing. They're saving me money by making sure that water isn't just kind of going into the dirt. Pro Turf can design your new landscape, new plants, new paver patio, new pergola, new fire pit. They've got it all. I want you to go to the website and see what they can do for you. It's professionalturf.com. You can call them too. They're right there in Lakeville, 952-469-8680. That is Pro Turf.
Are you an adult with uncontrolled moderate to severe Crohn's disease symptoms and still packing a backup bag of clothes? Just in case, Skyrizi Risankizumab Riza can help you take control of your Crohn's. Feel significant symptom relief, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements at 4 weeks. Plus, Skyrizi is proven to help people achieve remission and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Individual results may vary. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's. Ready to take control of your Crohn's? Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Control is everything to me.
Learn more at skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI.
I built this business the old-fashioned way. Hard work and a whole lot of spreadsheets.
Yeah, about that, I upgraded us to Odoo. Odoo puts everything we need, sales, inventory, accounting, on one connected platform. No more juggling systems, no more headaches.
So it all works together?
Exactly.
Odoo is the all-in-one business software that makes running and passing on a business easier than ever. Take your business into the next generation. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Dell PCs with Intel inside are built for the moments you plan and the ones you don't. For the time you forgot your charger at the gate.
Passengers, we are now on our initial ascent.
Or when you're bouncing between projects like a ping pong ball. We build PCs with long-lasting battery life, so you're not scrambling for an outlet. And built-in intelligence, so you can stay focused on whatever you're doing. Dell Technologies, built for you. Dell.com/Dell PCs.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce!
It's Spruce, the weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people, pets, and bees. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Spruce, pet friendly, weed deadly. Find wherever weed killers are sold.
In digital advertising, everyone talks about clicks, but clicks don't pay the bills. Sales do. Outcomes from Viant is a new way to advertise that prioritizes your bottom line. Our AI-driven technology looks past the noise to find the customers most likely to buy your product. It's smarter, faster, and designed for real-world results. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha
Nothing. It just turns into nothing so quickly.
on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I would run through a fire just to be by your side.
Do you think the Trump administration timed this for this morning to embarrass Governor Walz on the night of his big speech? Seems likely to me, don't you think? Like, if the Trump administration is skilled at anything, they are skilled at owning their opponents and inflicting maximum media embarrassment. So in the state of Minnesota, where Governor Walz has been traveling around the country talking about what a dingbat Donald Trump is, where he did a national TV tour last week, where he announced that he's writing a book. He's starting a fundraiser PAC to try to elect more Democrats in small towns around America. If you're the Trump administration, aren't you thinking like, we'll show him. We're going to go raid a bunch of these autism centers. And so today everybody's tripping all over themselves trying to take credit for it. When I will say I have a healthy dose of skepticism. One, is this new? Two, is this real, or is this just let's go raid these, gather some evidence, embarrass Tim Walz, and call it a day? I don't know. I think it is politically brilliant. And to me, it's also a reminder of how negative for the state of Minnesota it has been that our governor decided to try to have a national profile. And I'm not saying I don't think he should have it. I think anybody should, if you want to run for vice president, if you want to run for president, you should run for president. In the unique environment right now that is the Donald Trump administration, when you run at him, he takes like a howitzer and launches fire back at you. And I would like elected officials who are boring and just want to like make the state better. That's what I would like. But I think that ever since Kamala Harris tapped Tim Walz, we've been in the crosshairs of the Trump administration. Now, who do you blame for that? In my position, I blame all of them. I am furious that we have a petty president of the United States and his minions who think it's fun to just sort of screw with the opponents. But I also blame the Walz administration because this was utterly predictable that this was going to be the result. Texters are mad that I'm not mad enough at my money being stolen. That is a theme of hosting this show. I'm never as mad as the really mad people want me to be. Jason, I think you're missing a big point here. Taxes keep going up. My property taxes have gone up 100% in 6 years, and we just keep hearing about how they need to keep raising more taxes on us. So first of all, I totally agree with that. And I do think there are too few conversations about how we're going to cut or what are the things that are wants and not needs that we could cut out. That said, in this case, we are largely looking at federal funds, federal taxpayer dollars that have been stolen, defrauded. We are not looking at state money, for the most part, that has been stolen. The way this works is that federal money gets sort of distributed by state agencies. And the state distributes it to like these sort of nonprofits or other agencies. And then they distribute it to the Leering Center, the Quality Leering Center. And I will say I've been a little disappointed that there hasn't been much conversation about whether or not we have a system set up that is designed to be vulnerable to fraud. That we have offloaded so many of the essential functions of government to these third-party groups that we're getting a bad result. And instead, we have sort of Republicans in the legislature trying to prove how dumb the Walz administration was and how much fraud there is. And we have the Walz administration trying to tell everybody how terrible Donald Trump is. Who wants to fix the problem? Does anyone want to fix the problem? I don't know. Walz is too limelight hungry, says a texter, and should stop making silly claims about taking credit for some of the situations that are in reality affecting the state in the worst ways. I think taking credit for the raids is pretty rich. And I'm sure like some of the information that the feds used came from the state, but like it's sort of like if you set a house on fire and then you called it in to the fire department and said, I just would like to, you're welcome. You're welcome for alerting the agencies to what was going on. Well, you set the fire. It's not an exact parallel, but I enjoyed it. So you can text in and tell me I'm an idiot. We're going to talk about the state of our state, and we're going to go beyond fraud, I hope. Blois Olson will join us in just a minute with a preview of what the governor was planning on talking about tonight and how much does that change by all of this. That's coming up.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
Sun is out. The real estate market is coming back to life, but there is still so much uncertainty out there. It's Jason here. And that uncertainty is part of why you're seeing big red checks everywhere. You've seen Chris Lindahl, maybe in TV ads or on YouTube, handing out those big red checks to people in your area. Maybe you've seen the signs in your neighbor's front yard, people who are saying yes to a guaranteed cash offer on their house. What people are doing today, and it's so interesting to me, people are trading in their house, sort of like you'd trade in a car. You trade all the uncertainty, you trade all the stress for certainty, speed, and convenience. Now, Ellis and I worked with Chris a couple of years ago. We saw firsthand he lowered our stress. When selling a house, he just does that. And so it's no surprise to me that he is handing out so many big red checks. because people just aren't in the mood to gamble on the open market. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to deal with the stuff. They don't want to see their house on the market for months. When you say yes to a guaranteed cash offer, Chris Lindahl takes the risk. You get the certainty. Apply for that guaranteed cash offer. Get your big red check at chrislindahl.com. Terms and conditions may apply. A reminder, it's Tuesday, and it's Twins Ticket Tuesday. We are giving away a four-packet tickets to the game this Saturday. So it's Twins Toronto at 1:10 p.m. Going to be a great day at Target Field. Fishing opener around the corner. Twins have you covered with the first 10,000 fans getting a fishing lure presented by Rapala. Reel in your ticket. Get it at twins.com.
And now, News Talk 830 WCCO presents 20 Seconds of Zen. Because when you're well informed, peace of mind comes naturally. Clarity in a noisy world. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Staples has hundreds of ways to grow your business this spring, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through June 13th and save up to $150 on all your custom prints. Staples. That was easy.
Dave Lee with some fantastic news. The Aquarius Home Services and Connecticut Customer Appreciation Open House is happening May 1st through the 3rd. Save up to 30% on Connecticut water systems. Water filters, 20% off. Heating and cooling systems up to 30% off. Plus savings on generators, water heaters, and more. Be sure to bring a water sample for a free water test. Savings, food, and fun for everyone. It's all happening May 1st through the 3rd in Little Canada at 694 and 35E. Details at AquariusHomeservices.com.
Is life insurance on your list of New Year's resolutions? Now is the perfect time to add it. A buddy told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I added this to my list this year and got it done. I called SelectQuote and was shocked at how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $18 a month. My wife's also 40, and her $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, no medical exam was required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Checking this off my list felt great, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-280-5858 for your free quote today. That's 1-800-280-5858. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-280-5858. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic, could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
North 169 Bass Lake Road, stalled vehicle off to the right side. Flatbed tows on the scene. All the activity off to the right shoulder, hoping to slow you down as you come up from Rockford Road. 694 is jammed up both directions between 252 and Highway 10. Watching slowdowns for 610, both directions between 252 and 169. Jordy Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, let's do it. Sunny, little chilly. Chris Schaefer has your forecast.
A nice night tonight, albeit a bit cool. Partly cloudy. We'll fall back to about 38 by tomorrow morning. Partly cloudy tomorrow afternoon with a high of 57. We'll keep that mix of sun and clouds for the rest of the week. Actually, into the weekend, we'll be stuck in the 50s until Saturday and Sunday when we finally warm to the 60s.
55 right now on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Well, Governor Tim Walz probably hoped that his State of the State was going to be the lead story tonight in the 10 o'clock news and in tomorrow's newspaper. But I suspect it's going to be the FBI and the Fed raid of 22 search warrants, a bunch of largely autism treatment centers or purported autism treatment centers. Blois Olson is with us with a drive time take here on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Blois, you had a preview of the governor's State of the State address in Morning Take today. You had some excerpts of it. Do you think the raid today, does that change the dynamic at all?
I think, Jason, that it will change some of the speech. I think it will change the audience's reaction to the speech, especially Republicans. There was also a couple of fraud hearings today. Well, one fraud hearing with a couple testifiers today at the Capitol that got a little spicy as well. So I don't think this is going to be as focused on his legacy and the last 8 months and how Minnesota is such a great place to raise children in the questions and the dialogue. And the real question is, will he face questions after his speech, or will he continue to do what he did on social media and say, yep, see, we're working with them, we're figuring this out. This is in partnership with the feds. Because, Jason, you and I both know that it's one thing to say it and kind of drive that message home as the elected official. It's another thing if people buy what you're selling. And that's the tough thing is I think people have decided where they're shopping on Tim Walz, and they either buy it or they don't.
Kash Patel's certainly not buying it. And his response, the FBI director, is saying that essentially the state of Minnesota had nothing to do with what was done today. Both of these guys are sort of, it's a lot of talk out of both of them. So I don't know, which pick your fighter here. You go on Kash Patel or Tim Walz. I'm sort of in the, I don't know that I believe either of you two.
Well, and Jason, this is where I think you got to dig down deeper for this drive time take. And that is that the funding for autism services in Minnesota has gone up exponentially over the last 6 to 8 years. And to say that that there's that many more kids with autism just doesn't add up.
Right.
In fact, one equation was that 1 in 12 kids in all of Minnesota would have to have autism for that money to make sense. And that's what I think remains the underlying nag at the Walz 2023 budget, the growth of state government, is that these programs grew so much. And then there was fraud that people are like, how could you not know there was something going on if that's how much money you were spending in these programs? So it's not even about whether or not the service was warranted, whether or not there was fraudulent places. It's like, at some point, you and I know that you can only use so much money to solve a problem. And there was just so much money out there that was part of it. I mean, even Jason DeRusha can only eat so many meals before he's like, I can't handle it anymore. I'm full.
Right.
And I think there's only so much money that would solve the autism challenges of our community.
At this point, Blois, Tim Walz, I don't know if there's anything he could do that would change the mind of people who are skeptical other than more of a full-throated, accounting of how they missed the boat. And we know in today's politics, that's just not going to happen. No one's going to admit, we screwed this up. The way the system is designed is a failure. My level of oversight was not what it should be. I wasn't in the details as a chief executive in the way I should have been. Right. I mean, otherwise, what is there to do other than this sort of pretend posture?
Well, and I think that's where the Walz fatigue set in. Even after he announced for re-election, 50% of Democrats said he shouldn't run again. And one Democrat told me last week that Governor Walz is more popular amongst Democrats outside of Minnesota than inside of Minnesota. And that's part of this. He's trying to find relevance for the future. And I think that's the real thing we're watching here is, does he have any long-term political relevance? He said he wants to teach. He said he wants to do these things. But then last week he starts a small town PAC and then goes to Jimmy Kimmel. Those two things don't align in a normal political world. But guess what? We're not in a normal political world.
Blois Olson with us in Morning Take today, which you can sign up for at thedailyagenda.com. You had an excerpt that jumped out at me, where in his speech tonight, at least the script said, I still have 8 months left in this job, and I intend to use every hour of every day to make as much progress as I can. Come on. Like, I mean, we have a lieutenant governor who is running for Senate, and I don't know if she's been seen at the Capitol for the last 4 months, 5 months. We have a governor who's starting a PAC, writing a book, and going on national TV. Like, that is tough to stomach.
So, Jason, this is what I want listeners to just kind of process. If you're a Walz fan or if you're not. Because what I get pushback a fair amount from Walz fans about these takes. But I just want to set the scene. They sent out that excerpt. That's what they chose to send out as the verbatim for his remarks tonight. That for 8 months, every minute of every day or every hour of every day was going to be focused on Minnesota. They chose to send that out. And that is either that they think we're going to believe it, or they don't care if we believe it. They're just going to keep saying it. And the reality is both cases are not somebody who really understands the mood of Minnesota right now. And that's where I think Minnesotans are frustrated. And, you know, the reality, what I've seen in some research and polls is that while Amy Klobuchar raised a bunch of money, her numbers as the Democratic standard bearer are not awesome because Minnesotans are like, the state's just not working. And she said that to Vanita a couple weeks ago. She said, as governor, I want to make sure the state starts working again. If that's not a hint that she doesn't think the governor is doing a good job, I don't know what it is.
Blois Olson with us. Blois, you wrote a little bit about the flag discussion.
Yeah.
And I liked your perspective on it because the flag in and of itself as a rule, as an issue, it's silliness. But the underlying reason, now some people you got to fight against whatever the other side does. But I do think you raised a little bit of legitimate concern as to why some people just are this is like a dog with a bone, why it's sticking with people so much.
Well, and I think this is symptomatic of our politics right now, is that if you disagree about the flag or the flag was, quote, foisted upon you as a state flag and you complain, then you're dismissed. And I think the mood is that, look, you're going to keep running state government no matter what we think. And somehow I'm less of a Minnesotan because I don't like the flag, or I'm more of a Minnesotan because I like the new flag. And the reality is, it is a silly issue. It's not going to win or lose an election, but it is symptomatic of the way people feel. And politics is about how people feel.
Right.
And the idea that people feel like the flag that process, that it was, given to us, whether or not we wanted it or not, or needed it or not, is emblematic. And one of my readers pointed out this morning that the people who are signaling they want to use the old flag keeps getting closer and closer to the metro area, which should begin to tell you that all is not well in suburban land for Democrats because they have rising property taxes. They're frustrated with fraud. Those are the kinds of things that I think.
Do you really think like Invergrove Heights and Elk River and Champlain? I mean, those are not. Yeah, they're close, but like those have also been like 3-2 votes. So I don't know. I don't know.
They're represented by Democratic legislators, except for Elk River.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is like if those local officials aren't aligned with their legislators or with the then you're showing that there's real contentiousness
about
the
no
direction
doubt
of the state in those communities.
Yeah.
And that's what we're watching for this fall.
The flag is easy to grab onto, but it's other issues that people are really reacting to.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's this idea that I don't have a voice. It's this idea that you're going to
do
raise
what you
my property
want.
taxes no matter. You just do what you want.
It's interesting.
And that's the real signal of the flag.
I feel that way too. I feel like that is what they do. So I think I think the flag is, there was a process. Yes, they did what they wanted, but like there was a whole thing. Acting like no one had any voice is sort of fraudulent to me. And the idea that government is not giving regular people a voice in what they're doing, I think is totally valid. I get it.
And that's, by the way, a feeling on the left end of it.
Blois, good stuff. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Anytime for the drive time take.
Beautiful. Blois Olson on Every Morning with Vanita. We only get him on special occasions. In just a minute, I have sort of a different view on the Paige Bueckers, Azzi Fudd relationship, whether it should be off limits, on limits. We've never had, if you had two guys on the Twins who were dating each other, you bet the media would be asking about it. We'll talk about it next.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
This spring, I want you to feel like yourself again. It is Jason for Livia Weight Control Centers. Oh, man, the biggest change that Livia gave me is that they gave me myself back. They gave me my confidence back. They gave me the version of myself that I always wanted to see. A lot of people come to Livia for the weight loss, but what most of the people I've talked to, the success they've achieved, is that the scale is only a component. It's really about the energy, about the balance. It's about clarity. It's about confidence. Livia provides everything you need to succeed. And that is because Livia has evolved into a more complete path to better health. You're getting a personal plan. You're getting medical experts and medical support, and you're getting one-on-one guidance every step of the way. This is what feeling like yourself again looks like. I am down 45 pounds, but I'm up in energy. I'm sleeping better. I have more clarity. I have more confidence. You can do it too. Livia.com, Livea.com, or call 855-GO-LIVIA.
Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. Hear what they're saying about this brand I love.
Tell me about your experience with the night gummies.
I started using them. I think this was my third order. I heard Jordana on WCCO radio talking about it, and I thought, well, if she's doing it, trying to get off the Ambien, and I started with the pineapple gummies for sleep. That's what I take them for, is sleep. And I've been very pleased with the product. I started with the full gummy. Now I only take half, and that helps me sleep. So I'm very happy with the product, and I'm 70 years old.
And those Sleep Night gummies will help her sleep painlessly through the night. Those Sleep Night gummies are a real charm. Check out Mini Leaf's products at MINNELEAF.com. Check out that Triple Diamond Pain Cream, those Sleep Night gummies, or their other great products. I use them. There's so many CCOers that absolutely love them. You will too.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at MiniLeaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
At Wealth Enhancement, we believe wealth is in the details. Our team of trusted advisors craft personalized solutions to help you achieve your financial goals. Tune in to the Your Money Show on News Talk 830 WCCO every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. or go to wealthenhancement.com to connect with one of our advisors.
The best days start before sunrise.
with a gut feeling that today could be the day where the smooth, calm casting routine turns violent as the scaled beasts below fall for your bait. Get ready for it at Shields. Stock up on gear during our fishing sale happening now. And if you're a Shields Visa card member, you'll earn extra My Rewards points. Shields, right there with you.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You just testified under oath you're getting more fiber in your diet, and it was easy. Where is this additional fiber coming from?
Mira Fiber Gummies.
Objection.
It's true. Mira Fiber has 8 grams of fiber to help me get the fiber I need in a day, plus 4 B vitamins for metabolism support, all in one serving.
Overruled.
My gut rests its case.
Oh, that's my line.
Find Mira Fiber today at your local retailer from the makers of Miralax. Mira Fiber supports metabolism of carbs, fats, and proteins. Serving size is 4 gummies.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Rush working on 35W northbound as you head into the Highway 62 Commons, the activity off to the right side. Watching slowdowns on 494 northbound as you come up from Valley Creek, heading up all the way up to Highway 36. 36 itself is pretty slow between 35E and 35W. 10 westbound jamming up as you come up from 694 to 35W. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Right now for the month of April, Lindis Construction offering free installation on labor on GAF asphalt shingles and those great Leaf Guard brand gutters. Just call 8449-LINDIS, LINDUS, or lindisconstruction.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by Lindis Construction, a single contractor and construction company for all your home improvement needs. Let's give you the forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 38. Tomorrow, 57. Thursday, 56. Kind of a boring stretch, a little below average, but not bad. Right now, 55 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
That's my favorite thing to do.
It is one of my 2 or 3 favorite things to do, whether it's in the office, it's in town.
It doesn't matter. There's nothing better.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Would a boy like you, like a girl like me? Doesn't matter if we don't know where this leads. Would a boy like you, like a girl like me, like a girl like me, like a girl like me?
Paige Bueckers, she's one of us. Big star in the WNBA. And her girlfriend, Azzi Fudd, was distracted. She was drafted by her same team, Dallas Wings. The guy pretending he cares about women take is, well, this is nobody's business. Their personal life is their personal life. Why are you guys harassing Paige Bueckers about her girlfriend? And Paige Bueckers yesterday said, quite frankly, I believe me and Ozzy's personal relationship is nobody's business but our own. And what we choose to share is completely up to us. And I think that objectively is a nice statement. And if you had 2 guys on the Minnesota Timberwolves, both number 1 draft picks, who were boyfriends, it would be of legitimate interest to the journalists who covered the team and to the fans. You are in an entertainment business. And this, as far as I can tell, is the first time in any professional sport if you've had two superstars, both number one draft picks, on the same team. It's legitimate to talk about.
That are dating.
Yeah. It's unusual. It's unheard of. I think once the season goes, as long as the play is fine and you don't see them you have no reason to think they'd be like yelling at each other. But people ask Frank and Amelia about their relationship. It's part of the deal.
Or you didn't have to go beyond athletics. Athletes that date people with a certain level of fame. Remember when Chris Humphries was married to Kim Kardashian for 5 minutes? Paul Skeens is dating Livy Dunn. I mean,
I had to go in the locker room and ask Joe Mauer about dating Miss Tennessee or whatever back when I was a child reporter here.
But I also think that you're allowed, if you're Paige and Azzi, to say, no, we're not going to talk about it.
You are.
I just don't think you should criticize people for asking. I think it's perfectly legitimate to ask, but they have the right to be able to tell people, sorry, we're not going to discuss it.
Right. You do. I think it's a legitimate question. We ask all sorts of questions. Now, do I think there's some personal things that people don't get asked a ton about? Yeah, like Anthony Edwards and his sort of cavalier attitude towards parenting, perhaps. Continental Diamond time check, 3:58.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
Staples has hundreds of ways to grow your business this spring, like spectacular signs, brilliant brochures, eye-popping posters, mouth-watering menus, and more. Shop now through June 13th and save up to $150 on all your custom prints. Staples, that was easy.
I'm here with Alec Sherrod, a top mergers and acquisitions attorney with Helmuth & Johnson. Alec, Minnesota laws can be complex. How do you make sure you're on the right path?
At Helmuth & Johnson, we help businesses and individuals navigate Minnesota's laws with clarity and confidence. We understand how Minnesota's laws and courts work, and we guide you every step of the way.
So it's not just knowing the law, it's knowing Minnesota.
Exactly. Practical advice, local experience, real solutions.
If you're looking to buy or sell a business, go to hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side.
They look hot, they drive like a dream, and the value, you've got to get to Luther Kia Bloomington. It's Jason DeRusha. I just brought my Kia in for service there. It was such a great experience. My Kia's as good as new. Dan Dingman and the Luther Kia Bloomington team, just the best. From the 35 miles per gallon hybrid Kia Telluride and Sorento SUVs to the under $30,000 K5 sedan. Check out your dream car today at LutherKiaBloomington.com or stop in and tell them Jason sent you.
On the air at AM 830 and 1029 HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Together with live streams via the Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps. This is News Talk 830 WCCO.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. Former FBI Director James Comey has been indicted again by the Justice Department. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche announced the charges.
He knowingly and willfully making a threat to take the life of and to inflict bodily harm upon the President of the United States. Count 2, same day, May 15th, 2025, that the defendant, James Comey, knowingly and willfully transmitting in interstate commerce a communication.
The charges stem from an image Comey briefly shared to Instagram last year that showed seashells arranged in the sand to form the numbers 8647. Comey later said he didn't realize some folks associate those numbers with violence.
On Capitol Hill,
Mr. Speaker, Their Majesties King Charles III and Queen Camilla.
King Charles III addresses a joint session of Congress marking America's 250th anniversary and it is my hope, my prayer, that in these turbulent times, working together and with our international partners, we can stem the beating of plowshares into swords. King Charles and Queen Camilla will continue their 4-day U.S. trip later this week with stops in New York City and Virginia. The FCC plans an early review of Disney's broadcast licenses for the ABC stations it owns. The review is part of the investigation initiated by FCC Chairman Brendan Carr into Disney's diversity, equity, and inclusion practices. More on the probe from CBS's Kelly O'Grady.
What he's saying is that if Disney were to have engaged in discrimination because of their
DEI initiatives, that there is an argument to be made that they should not have these licenses, these broadcast licenses.
This move comes after President Trump demanded ABC fire Jimmy Kimmel for a joke he made about Melania Trump days before the shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Amid the war with Iran, AAA says the average cost for a gallon of regular gas is now $4.18, the highest it has been since April of 2022. This driver in Boston says the prices are affecting his summer vacation plans.
I'm going to have to take out less trips and stuff like that because it's getting ridiculous.
A Texas legislative panel is holding more hearings into the devastating flooding that killed 25 campers and 2 teenage counselors at an all-girls Christian camp last July 4th. Investigators say Camp Mystic did not have an evacuation plan. An emotional Camp Mystic director, Edward Eastland, says to the victims' families,
"We tried our hardest that night, and it wasn't enough to save your daughters. We were devastated alongside you."
This is CBS News.
Join Adriana Diaz and Kelly O'Grady for the perfect start to your weekend. Ease into your Saturday with CBS Saturday Morning on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly sunny and 55 degrees at 4:03. Good afternoon. I'm Mark Fry. Leaders in the Somali American community in Minnesota are a bit on edge after 22 federal search warrants were executed at 22 daycare centers and other locations across the Twin Cities. As of this point, we don't know the nature of the raids and so far have not heard of any arrests. Jelani Hussein is head of the Council on American Islamic Relations in Minnesota.
As a community, we welcome any effort to go after fraud, as long as that fraud is something that is, not scapegoating an entire community.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz gives his final State of the State address later tonight.
A lot has happened under Governor Tim Walz over the last 7 years, some of which you may not hear about tonight during the State of the State address. WCCO radio political analyst Blois Olson says he's likely to highlight things like child tax care credits, free school meals, and how Minnesota ranks compared to other states on things like health care.
I think he's always thinking about what's next rather than what's in front of him. And so I don't know that he's really concerned about what Minnesotans think if they disagree with him on fraud.
As far as fraud, Olson says it won't likely come up and there won't be any kind of an apology. He says Walz is already looking ahead as he recently created a political action committee to help find new, younger candidates. Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
State Senate Democratic leaders calling for passage of a $1.4 billion bonding package to pay for long-term infrastructure projects. Investment Committee Chair Sandy Pappas says there has been progress in talks with Republicans, but they need to act quickly.
The legislature needs to take serious steps toward meeting our local communities, local universities, and state agency needs. And the longer we delay funding these projects, the more expensive they become.
The legislative session ends in less than 3 weeks. After nearly 2 hours of public comment last night, the Inver Groves Heights City Council voted to fly the old Minnesota state flag.
The official state flag began flying in 2024 after months of public meetings and presentations. Those hearings are archived on the State Historical Society website. Opponents claim the previous flag is more representative of the state's history. Inver Grove Heights officials say they'll now spend hundreds of dollars to buy and raise 6 flags at city properties. About a dozen Minnesota communities have now voted to replace the new flag, which is not against any state regulations, but the 2024 design remains the official Minnesota state flag. A proposal to fine communities who don't fly the official flag has very little legislative support. Al Schock, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Coming up on 406, traffic and weather next.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
So working for 35W northbound and Highway 62, the activity off to the shoulder. Traffic slows through the area. Traveling north 100, got your slowdowns there as you move west 50th, heading up to 394. 694 still jammed up between Lexington and 252. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
We got a show and it's guys and dolls at Chan Has and Dinner Theaters, and it's a knockout. The Pioneer Press called it a must-see. Star Tribune called it blazing with brilliance. You got gamblers, romance, and show-stopping tunes. Guys and dolls, visit ChanHasandDP.com.
Now, Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And the weather is brought to you by the Chanhassen Dinner Theater, the must-see show, Guys and Dolls on stage now. Get tickets at chanhassendt.com. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Quiet and cool is the rule for the next couple of days. Partly cloudy tonight, will fall back to 38, so a chilly start tomorrow with a partly cloudy afternoon and high around 57. Not quite as windy tomorrow. Partly cloudy, mid-50s again Thursday. It's not till the weekend we warm to near average in the 60s.
57 sunny, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Making you think, making you laugh, and sometimes getting you a little fired up.
You gotta be kidding me.
News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
Do you guys think we should tax billionaires? Billionaires. It's drive time. I'd like to be a billionaire, I guess. In the meantime, we may as well stick it to them, you know? Dan, do you think, like, hosting an AM radio show in Minneapolis, is this sort of like my path to billionaire land?
Sure. I mean, if you were to do it for, a couple, 3,000-4,000 years, you might make, $1 billion.
In Los Angeles, they have a lot of billionaires. And they will have a vote in November to assess a 5% tax on assets exceeding $1 billion. So I was curious just where our listeners were on this. 651-461-9226. The way California has designed this is pretty smart. So, like, I know what people are going to say. If you tax the billionaires, they'll just move out of California. But the bill actually assesses this tax to anybody who lived in California as of January 1st, 2026. So you can move, but you're still going to have to pay the tax. California would raise about $100 billion. No, that can't be right. Can that be right? How many billions are there in California if a 5% tax gets you to $1 billion? It's a lot of money. I do think, they're saying $100 billion from 200 to 500 individuals. You know what? If you have I was going to speak out against this, but if you have enough money that a 5% tax is going to generate $100 billion, we should probably tax these folks, right? Minnesota, we don't have that many billionaires. I think we have 5 billionaires. You got Glenn Taylor. He's only got about $3 billion is his net worth. Then you've got another kind of investor type guy, Jeff Michael. He's got a $2 billion. Stanley Hubbard is worth about $2 billion. And then a couple of Cargill heirs at about $1.5 billion. So our 5% is only going to get maybe $100 million. We don't have as many billionaires as California. But people, I think, are kind of ticked at billionaires. Michael is in St. Paul. Michael, would you be affected by the billionaire tax?
No, I would not.
I mean, I was hoping. It would be great for my demographics if I could tell potential advertisers that I've got a billionaire who's listening,
Yeah. I would love to. I'd love to have them, especially after the big, beautiful bill, which gave them such a huge break at our expense.
I think that's
So
sort of the theory in California, that California, their financial situation is worse than ours. They need the money in a more drastic way. But I'm actually very intrigued by this idea that the big, beautiful bill did put more money in rich people's pockets. And so now what, right? Is it a state level tax? Are we going to see our local rich people stepping up and donating more to charity? Because I thought that was the theory. Like, we don't want to be taxed to hell. If we're rich, we want to give the money to charities we believe in. I guess now's the time to put up or shut up. If I were at that rich level, you better be telling people what you're doing with that money, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I would certainly like to see something at the federal level, and I think it's one of the steps we need to take to get back to a more representative democracy. I feel like we're being overrun by the billionaires.
Thanks, Michael. Appreciate it. Sorry you're not a billionaire. I mean, I'm sorry I'm not a billionaire. Kevin's in Anoka. Kevin, where you at? California wants to tax everybody over $1 billion. It's only like 200 people. But it will be a one-time 5% sort of emergency tax. We need the money. Boom. 5%. And it would generate $100 billion. My God. It's sort of an obscene amount of wealth, isn't it?
Well, the problem with that is they also said the income tax in 1914 would only accept the top 0.1%. Second of all, California is planning on taxing unrealized gains. So if you were the founder of Google 30 years ago and you invested $100,000 and you now own $4 billion in stock, but you haven't sold that stock, you're going to have to pay 5% on $4 billion.
Well, you could sell a little you could sell a little of your stock, right? If you're Mark Zuckerberg and I read that Mark Zuckerberg owns 13.7% of Meta. He could sell enough to pay the tax and he would own 13.2% of Meta. Pretty minor difference.
And then next year they're going to do it again, and then they'll do it again, and they'll do it again, and they'll keep doing it because they can't ever balance their budget.
Yeah. I mean, that is, and Kevin, thank you. You've landed on the larger issue. And this is my issue in Minnesota. The issue in Minnesota is that it's always about more. How can we get more revenue? How can we get more money? And yes, the cost of government is very often linked to the cost of people, the cost of labor. And so when you've got people who their wages are going up, their health care costs more, government's going to cost more. I also think you need to be a little more realistic about where we are as a state in Minnesota and say, like, you can't just keep asking for more and more and more and more. At a certain point, you need to cut. You need to cut. You need to decide, are we willing to right-size the government to match the reality of where people are financially, or come at the billionaires? You're not coming at the millionaires. You're coming at the billionaires. I don't know. I think it's worth thinking about. We only have 5. I think it'd be questionable in Minnesota. Texters, Jason, when do you get to decide who we steal money from? What do you think taxing is? We have different taxation levels. The more you make, the higher, after you cross a threshold, that money is taxed at a higher rate. That's what government does. Should do that nationwide, says a texter. Someone who makes twice as much as someone on minimum wage should be taxed as twice as much, says a texter. Take that logic all the way up to the billionaires. You know, as a policy, I tend to push back against the like soak the rich way of running the government. But I do think that when you're talking about a billionaire, I guess I'm more empathetic to figuring out, like, all right, is there a way that we could actually get to like a taxable amount that is an actual contribution to running, to paying for the world that sort of created a scenario for them to get so rich? I don't know. I think it's intriguing. We'll break in just a minute. I want to talk about the crackdown on sharing passwords. Sharing passwords. I feel like the New York Times has a surveillance team on me. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
The best days start before sunrise, with a gut feeling that today could be the day, where the smooth, calm casting routine turns violent as the scaled beasts below fall for your bait. Get ready for it at Shields. Stock up on gear during our fishing sale happening now. And if you're a Shields Visa card member, you'll earn extra My Rewards points. Shields, right there with you.
Gas prices are up, and Luther Kia of Bloomington can help you out. It's Jason from my Luther Kia of Bloomington team. I drive a Kia. I love it. Dan Dingman can guide you into a hybrid SUV getting more than 35 miles per gallon, or take a look at the plug-in and electric options. If you need the power of gas, I just test drove a Telluride third row, high-tech, affordable luxury. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com to see what's on the lot, or stop in at 35W and 494 and tell them Jason sent you.
Support comes from Amazon Business. You can't rely on guesswork to run your business. With smart business buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Empower your team today. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Did you know a single blood donation can save 3 lives? Amazing, right? All it takes is a visit to your nearest Memorial Blood Center's location or blood drive. Whether you're donating blood, plasma, or platelets, nothing beats the feeling of being a lifesaver. Be the reason someone gets back to planting their garden, walking their dog, or simply enjoying another sunny day. Make an appointment today at mbc.org. Walk-ins are always welcome.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Your daily detour into sharper conversation. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you used to share your passwords, forget it. I feel like I have been under siege by the New York Times over the last couple of days. I'm a subscriber to the New York Times. I'm not stealing it. But every time I log on to the New York Times on a different computer, I'm getting a note that's like, hey, are you sure? Are you sure you really, I'm going to send you a code to your email right now. And let's see if you can do it. Let's see if you can type in that code, because we don't believe that you are who you say you are. We don't believe it. It's, I don't know. I guess like who am I to cry about the fact that like I can't steal the New York Times, and I'm not stealing the New York Times. I was talking to a friend the other day when it comes to Netflix. And they're like, yeah, I used to share my neighbor's Netflix and now I can't. Do you guys see password sharing as stealing? 651-461-9226. I think password sharing is pretty much dead. Now, what's difficult for me is like, well, frankly, it's just been annoying. Like I'm spending whatever I spend every month on the New York Times, and I've got to type in the password all the time. Netflix charges $20 a month now. So I was thinking about this last night with the Timberwolves game, right? Were you guys trying to watch the Timberwolves game at all last night? What happened is the early game was running late, and because it was running late, the game didn't start on NBC. Our game didn't start on NBC. They started the game, and they started it on Peacock. And so as a household that pays for Netflix, HBO Max, what else is there? I don't pay. Oh, I think I pay for Paramount Plus. My friend Lauren was saying, she's like, oh, I have nothing now because I was stealing it from everyone else. But I think people don't think about it as stealing. Netflix used to be okay with it. Remember when they were like, yeah, it's fine. Share your passwords. We don't care. And then they shut it down. Well, they don't shut it down. They invite you to pay for another thing, like the New York Times.
For a group plan, yeah.
Right. That's what the New York Times is constantly. You could do your family subscription. Maybe that's your issue. Like, well, it's not my family, man. Like I log in at home on a computer, and then I come to work and I log in on that computer, and then I'm in another room and I log in on that computer, and then I have it on a laptop. That's what I'm doing. It's hard to know, like, when you draw the line. This is the conversation we're having at our house right now. Like, because $20 for Netflix, it's like $2 too much. $2 too much. $20 feels like too many dollars, right?
I mean, Netflix gives you a lot of great content. I feel okay with 20 for Netflix. I draw the line at 30 for ESPN.
Do you pay for Netflix?
I do.
You used to pay for Google or YouTube TV, right?
I used to do YouTube TV. That I canceled because that's up in the $80 per month now. So it's basically cable.
We have DirecTV and Netflix and HBO Max and Paramount Plus and Amazon Prime Video.
Right.
Too much stuff.
I have Netflix, Prime. I think that's it. Twins TV, obviously I pay for.
We also have Comcast, Xfinity, because that's what our internet is. Texters say these entertainment companies have the technology to limit the number of screens that an account can be logged into at one time. They should just do that, says Mark. Netflix slowly shutting down password sharing is exactly what would happen with the billionaire tax, says a texter. Really beautiful job tying these two things together. Government will slowly suck more and more value from productive citizens. I don't think we should be taxing, like sticking it to the rich, but I sort of do think we should be sticking it to billionaires. Just like a little more sticking it to them than we are now. How could they tell the difference between my friend's account or if I'm up at the cabin? Yeah, like that's sort of my frustration. And so what they do is they send you like an authentication thing.
An authentication
so you can
thing,
get to
and then
the email.
It's frequency too, right? Because you're only up at the cabin so much, or you're only away from your main IP address so much.
Yeah.
But if you're suddenly logging on, 1 minute you're here, next minute you're over there, and you're doing that over and over and over and over again, it's the frequency that tips them off, I would think.
Texter says, Mr. Moneybags can't even remember what he's paying for. Come on now. How dare you? How dare you? Well, every once in a while you check and you're like, because some of the stuff is free, right? Like, oh, you get HBO Max with your AT&T or DirecTV through. And now, like, there's so much crap. I have no idea. I really have no idea. The texter is right. We're all over the place. When I do 2 topics in 1/2 hour, the text line is just bonkered. Should we stick it to people that pay no taxes so they can pay just a little bit? Yeah, should we take a lime that has almost no juice in it, and should we spend all of our time and all our energy trying to get 1 drop of juice out of it? Or should we ask the lime grove, the lime forest, like, hey, would you mind giving us a little juice? That's sort of what I'm talking about. Let's talk to Jay in Hammond, Wisconsin. Jay, do you have a solution for my password nightmare?
Well, not the password nightmare, but all the streaming options. Get a VC box.
What's that? What's a VC box?
You've not heard of that?
No.
It's a box that brings in almost anything.
Is this legal? This sounds
Anything
questionable.
that's out in the, I bought mine from a retired sheriff. So, yeah.
Well, that sounds even worse. Like most.
Anything in the airwaves is legal. As of now, anyway, is fair game.
Interesting.
So you plug in the power cord and put an HDMI cable to your smart TV, and there you go.
Is there internet involved, though? Don't you have to plug into the internet?
I think so.
Yeah, wherever you have Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, I guess that's a given nowadays. Yeah. But yeah, so check that out. Maybe you'll get some more input on that.
All right. That's pretty good. The V, it's the letter V, C, S-E-E box. The device is legal, but if you're streaming copyrighted content, it's possible that you're on an app that is of questionable legality.
I do know.
I try to keep it legal. You know me.
I do know a lot of people out there that have those, though, and it'll pop up once in a while in the TikTok shop. It'll be all the rage for a little bit. Oh, I can get all these stuff for the cost of whatever. And it's, yeah, I mean, you're pirating essentially. And pirating has always been a thing since streaming was invented. But you're pirating these channels, and that's
I think people have
questionable legality.
People have sort of different baseline standards as to where they are on pirating. I think it depends. Like, did you grow up in the LimeWire time, or did you grow up in a time where you had to go to Best Buy and buy a CD? And if you grew up in a time when you had to buy a CD, you're like paying for stuff doesn't seem crazy.
I remember getting into a big knockdown drag-out fight with a friend of mine because she was pirating HBO. And I suggested that, that wasn't entirely ethical to do that. And she got literally upset. Like, what do you think? I'm not worthy enough. I shouldn't get to watch these things. Like, it has nothing to do with your worthiness. It has to do with, this is content being created by people who have a certain expectation of, maintaining or making money off that content. She didn't care for that.
Not interested. Yeah. All right, let's break. In just a minute, we're going to talk pizza. There is a guy who runs this Facebook group, Twin Cities Pie Chasers. And it is so popular, it is so influential that he's doing his own pizza festival. And that is happening soon. We'll talk about it. Your favorite pizza. You can text in. We'll ask the expert what he thinks. He can weigh it. It's coming up right here on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
I was just talking to my friend Kevin over at J.H. & Sons at the Galleria. It's Jason here for J.H. & Sons, the best, the premier men's clothing store in the Twin Cities. And the reason I mentioned that I was just texting with Kevin today is because when you go to J.H. & Sons and you buy a suit or you buy a great pair of shoes or you buy the best pair of pants you've ever owned in your life, you're also going to get a contact. I don't know about you guys. I love having a guy. You got a plumbing problem, you got a guy. You got electrical problem, you got a guy. HVAC, you got a guy. You should have a clothing guy too. Maybe you have an event or a gala or a wedding or a graduation or something coming up, you call your guy. Maybe you're single and you have a big date. You want to look great when you go out to dinner. You got a guy. J.H. & Sons at the Galleria wants to be your guy or gal. They got a great team over there. Kevin, Bryce, Chuck, Dean, on and on and on. Unbelievable talents who know fashion, who know style, and most importantly, they'll get to know you. And they'll find clothing that is just going to blow your mind. Reach out. You can sign up for their email list so you know about sales and new lines that show up in the store. You can do that at jhndsons.com, but the best way to experience it is going to the store. Galleria in Edina. Get to J.H. & Sons.
I solemnly swear that I will listen to News Talk 830 WCCO all day, every day.
Hey, I'll listen before I even leave the house.
I'll listen while brushing my teeth.
I'll listen in the shower.
I'll listen to Jason DeRusha's whole show twice.
Well, I'll listen in 2 rooms at the same time.
I will listen in 3.
I'll teach my dog to listen. Ha!
My dog already prefers Benita's Sawcar.
I'll podcast it in my sleep.
I won't just listen. I'll take notes.
I will legally change my middle name to WCCO.
Okay, we do want you to listen longer, but it's not a competition. Or is it? News Talk 830 WCCO.
David Linsky of L3 Family Wealth Partners. You know, people spend a year planning their big vacation. Take the same care when it comes to your retirement plan.
Listen to the Retirement Reality Report, Saturday at 11 on WCCO.
Financial literacy. It's amazing they don't teach it in school. Listen to the Investing with Confidence show every Sunday at 11 p.m. and join us for a free investing class by texting the word investing to the number 210-210. Take action today and make a change for tomorrow. Text the word investing to the number 210-210 today.
Do you cracks in your basement walls, bowing walls, or settling foundation? Standard Water Control Systems is the #1 basement foundation repair contractor in Minnesota and Wisconsin. With highly trained teams of veteran employees and no subcontractors, Standard Water can repair your basement foundation. Need basement waterproofing? Standard Water has installed thousands of waterproofing systems since 1977. Locally owned with a 4.9 Google rating, you can't go wrong. Schedule your free foundation consultation at standardwater.com.
How was your break? It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive. That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app. Upside? Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive. Does that actually add up to anything? Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app. Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code DOWNLOAD for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code DOWNLOAD for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's DOWNLOAD.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and
conditions. We all have different skills, things that make us unique. And in the Minnesota Army National Guard, we combine all of that for a common mission, serving our home. I'm Sergeant First Class Chris Urick from Glencoe. We know strength isn't found alone. It comes when all of us fight for the same goal. When that goal is protecting what matters most, there is nothing stronger. What will you bring to help us build that strength? Go to nationalguard.com/Minnesota to see how you can get started today.
Paid for by the Minnesota Army National Guard. Brought to you by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
35 east southbound head toward Randolph. Crash has been taken care of, but got some slowdowns coming down from downtown St. Paul. East 94 slows into St. Paul. That all begins back in the area of Highway 280. 252 and Brookdale Drive got a crash with injuries working. It's in the intersection affecting traffic in all directions, so get ready for single lane traffic as you make way past the crash. 169 northbound past 694 got an accident working there off to the right side. Things are slow as you come up from Bass Lake Road. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast time. It is sunny out there. It is, well, it's not quite the warm weather a lot of us want. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A nice night tonight, albeit a bit cool. Partly cloudy. We'll fall back to about 38 by tomorrow morning. Partly cloudy tomorrow afternoon with a high of 57. We'll keep that mix of sun and clouds for the rest of the week. Actually, into the weekend, we'll be stuck in the 50s until Saturday and Sunday when we finally warm to the 60s.
Right now in downtown Minneapolis, if you're getting ready to come see the Twins at Target Field, it's 55 degrees. It is Twins Ticket Tuesday. So keep listening. Caller 3 when we play that Win Twins sounder is going to get a 4-pack of tickets to a game this Saturday to see Twins versus Toronto at 1:10 p.m. Here comes DeRusha Eats.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
I think it's absolutely flawless. Whoever's idea was that is a genius.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
DeRusha, he has the eats.
Nobody brings you the Twin Cities restaurant scene like your favorite foodie. Now, Jason explores some of the great chefs, owners, and stories right in our own backyard. Drive Time now transitions into DeRusha Eats.
And DeRusha Eats is brought to you by the Minnesota Pork Board. Nearly 20,000 people are members of a pizza-loving online Facebook community that was started by our guest, Dan Gouge from the Twin Cities Pie Chasers is with us. Dan, it's good to have you on.
Thank you for having me.
You're here because a week from Saturday, your pizza group has become so influential, so active, that you're having a pizza summit, a second pizza summit over at Summit Brewing Company.
Yes. They reached out. They wanted to see if we could just do a little get together with some trucks, and it turned into this, which was very popular last time. It was good. It went to a good thing. We did food shelf drive with Neighborhood House in St. Paul, and all the vendors were happy. Summit was happy. Neighborhood House was extremely happy. So
pretty unbelievable. I mean, you're all, it's people show up, they buy the slice or whatever they want, but it's also this great fundraiser for Neighborhood House, right?
Yes, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with pizza and beer, but if you're going to have some kind of influence, you should do something good with it, I think.
Yeah.
So I think just reaching out to Neighborhood House, and they were on board, and they were extremely happy with all the donations. I think this group has a lot of good people in it, and they love to help out when they can, and they stepped up pretty good last year. I think we got them close to, I think, 700 pounds of donations.
Wow.
So it was good. It was a good turnout. I'm hoping we can do a little better this year.
May 9th is the date, Saturday over at Summit. And let's talk about the pizza scene in Minnesota right now. Your group started with just it was pretty small in the early days.
Well, it was meant to be just for me and my friends. It started with a text between me and my friend Adam, and then it just kind of grew on its own. And then that burger group is really big, and it caught some air in the burger group. And then I think in one day I had 500 people come over from that burger group, and then it just kind of evolved from there and turned into a good thing.
Almost 20,000 members in Twin Cities Pie Chasers. And your approach I really appreciate, because negative reviews and feedback are welcome, but with respect.
Yeah, be an adult.
Yeah.
Be an adult.
And you guys police that pretty well too. So
Yeah.
as much as you can, so it doesn't become like a cesspool, right?
Yeah, I mean, some people will always want to make things personal. There's no need. I mean, these people work hard for their money. They work hard to keep that business going, and maybe it's just not your flavor. That's fine, but there's no need to get personal with it. And a lot of these owners, they hear the critiques and they appreciate it. They help. It helps them fix things that they might need tweaking.
When you look at the scene right now in Minnesota, how long have you guys been around as Twin Cities Pie Chasers?
Oh, I've just had the group for I think it's since right before COVID, 2019, and then COVID hit, and it kind of
pizza really blew up during COVID.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, those guys were designed for that format, and they made tons of money. And
carry out, let's go. This is what we do.
Yeah. Carry out, delivery, all that. Yeah, they were set up for that. Unfortunately, the last year or so, we've seen a lot of closures. I think with just inflation on these prices, it's not the moneymaker it used to be.
Right.
But
yeah, labor costs what it does, and government regulations and sick time and all those things add up.
Yeah, working in retail, I say if they can jack the price on something, they're never giving it back to you. And that's kind of what's happening with these guys right now.
When you look at sort of the variety, and I love pizza. I'm writing I got a pizza story coming out in Minnesota Monthly.
Ooh.
It's going to be a bit, magazines, man. I write that thing and 3 months later, it shows up. I do think the variety of styles of pizza that we have just blows away what we used to have 10 years ago. It's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Detroit style has been sort of the hottest thing over the last couple of years, would you say?
There's not a lot of them, though.
No, a lot of them haven't.
There's about
rectangle,
4 or 5 notable ones. Norm's, Wayside, Melt. But
that's about it.
Iron Exchange.
Yeah,
I've not made it out there yet, but there's a small amount of them.
Do you have a favorite style of pizza yourself?
Well, it's always been Tavern, the thin crust, because those you can get well done, and I like a well done pizza. That well done doesn't work on the wood fire or the New York, maybe a little bit, but not so much all the wood fires.
I like a well done pizza too. It's sort of like the proper way to cook a Haggis is just right to the edge of burnt. Right?
Well, you can't say burnt in Minnesota.
I know, everybody.
Oh my good Lord.
So I posted a video at OG Zaza, which OG Zaza, very controversial.
Yes.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. But a lot of people are like, it's burnt. It's burnt.
We both know Josh, and he's an upfront guy. He likes the publicity, and
he doesn't mind if people are mad.
No, if he's selling pizza, he's happy. Minnesotans just can't get around that word char. They want to call it burnt all the time, which is just it's funny to me.
Do you think it's because we're essentially a beige people? Like we just like our pizza to be the same shade.
Which I find ironic. New York seems to be the most bland style out there, and then Minnesota has the seasoned sauces, which is kind of funny to me, as we're known for being Minnesota bland.
I know it is true. And that to me goes back to the Red Savoy days when the original Red Savoy really had a bit of a zingy or zesty red sauce, which I prefer. I don't love the sweet sauce. I either want it to be kind of savory with more like oregano note in it, or give me a little spicy. I'm all right. With that. Not too spicy.
No, not too spicy. We don't want that.
But because you can only eat a couple slices, then your mouth's on fire.
That's the drawback for me on Detroit style. It's like one piece. I'm done.
Piece. Yeah, same thing. Dan Gouge with the Twin Cities Pie Chasers is with us. Do you have a go-to, like your favorite pizzas?
Oh, it used to be Delano's. I mean, that was the controversy of back then of Delano's versus Pizza Shack down on Lake Street.
Yeah.
Now I was like, with the way wood fire has taken off, I've kind of gravitated a little more towards that. One of the trucks that'll be there, Red Rocket Pizza Company, I think he does a phenomenal job with his crust, leopardian as we call it, and not burnt, nice little char on it. But a lot of those places have kind of taken over, I think.
Red Rocket has
Pizza Company,
and they they show up at breweries and that sort of deal, right?
Yeah, he started out in his garage, and I went over there and heard about him. Went and we did a little get together with him for to get some members to find out about him, and he's worked hard. He's worked hard to get to where he's at with that food truck, and it's good to see him prosper the way he has.
At the Pizza Summit, a week from Saturday, May 9th at Summit Brewing, you've got, and give a little description. I'll read the name. Brick Oven Bus.
Yeah, they get their sourdough, really heavy crust on the outside. But I did a tour of their place, man. They do a great job. They pay attention to detail, and I think they put out a great product.
You've got OG Zaza, we mentioned. Red Rocket, you mentioned.
Yeah.
Bao Bao Buns, not a pizza.
Not a bun. Not
delicious.
Yeah, he's supposed to be doing a collab with Parkway Pizza with their sausage and their sauce.
That's fun.
I haven't tried them, to be honest.
Yeah, you're gonna like it. It's really good. QC Pizza.
Dennis will be there. He'll be selling frozen.
Yeah.
And he actually did pretty good selling a lot of frozens as people were walking out of there last year, bagging them up and taking them home. There's dill pickle pizza.
QC is in Matamidi.
Correct.
It's sort of it's sort of tavern-esque, but a little thicker crust, right?
Yeah. Quad City style.
Quad City style.
Yeah.
I used to live in the Quad City.
Oh.
So do I have any affinity to the Quad City style pizza? No. But what a Rolling Hearth Bistro.
Yeah. He's got a brick and mortar out in Eden Prairie, the Hearth. I have a few friends out in Waconia, I think, where he was based out of, and they were really telling me to go reach out to him. So I went and reached out to him, and he's happy to be on board.
You got Tono Pizza. Their growth has been amazing. They're opening in North Loop on Saturday. Little soft open there on Friday, but Tono's.
Yeah, I love their Don Pepe. Their sausage is top 5, in my opinion.
Nice. And then you've got a couple others. Omni, which is up in Maple Grove.
And Victoria and Rosemount.
Pizza Karma, Pizza Barn, and Black Cat Sauce. So tons of pizza out there. Do people need to buy a ticket in advance?
Nope, this is a free event. But if you want the swag that we got given out, we got tons of giveaway stuff. You just got to donate to Neighborhood House. You'll get tickets, and then we'll do drawings on the hour. We'll be doing that from 11 to, I believe, 4, just because Neighborhood House.
Unzip your. We're streaming on YouTube. You can see this is the shirt, the TCPC Twin Cities Pie Chaser.
The retro
I like
logo.
It. Dan Gouge, appreciate all you do for the pizza restaurants and fellow pizza lovers like me. So thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Go check it out Saturday at Summit Brewing in St. Paul. That's DeRusha Eats, brought to you by the Minnesota Pork Board. Back in just a minute with a nerd alert from NASA.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, Jason here. And let's be honest, can you have a delicious pizza without Minnesota pork? I don't think so. You need that pork sausage. You need that pork pepperoni. Oh, Minnesota pork is so versatile and is so eager to be a part of your dinner table tonight. TasteWhatPorkCanDo.com is the website. TasteWhatPorkCanDo.com. Put flavor on the table. So the idea is that by supporting these family farmers, and in Minnesota, the pork board is 3,000 family farmers, some small, some bigger, all families, taking care of their community, taking care of their animals, taking care of the environment. And when you go to TasteWhatPorkCanDo.com, you can look up different recipes, and you can filter them by the way you cook. So like Dan and I both have been using the air fryer on pork chops, but they've got a great recipe that should only take about 30 minutes, 15 minutes to prep, 15 minutes to cook. Buffalo pork with shaved Brussels sprout salad. So you're having a lean, high-protein, delicious meal, and you get the Brussels sprouts too. TasteWhatPorkCanDo.com is that website for that inspiration. But go to your grocery store, go to your butcher shop, And let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight. Oh, yeah.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now. Stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this. At Bradshaw & Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Don't give up. If you've been trying to sell your home and haven't had any success, you just need a real estate agent who knows how to market homes. The John Schuster Group Coldwell Banker Realty has a marketing system that finds buyers for everyone. The Good Neighbor agent just helped Karen sell her home. Karen hired a different agent before calling John. And then 131 long days later, that other agent hadn't found a buyer. Can you believe that? She tried John and that famous marketing system kicked in, reaching thousands of potential home buyers in 2 weeks. John sold her home for full asking price. She wished she would have called the Schuster Group sooner. Curious what your home is worth? That's how this process starts. Just type in your address on johnschustergroup.com and get the process rolling.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Staples presents Celebrations Made Easy.
I went to Staples for a custom printed graduation banner and invites and saw that Party City is now at Staples.
Wait, what?
Party City is now at Staples.
So now Staples has balloons.
Yep.
Decorations.
Yes.
Streamers, cups, table covers.
Yep, Staples has everything for a party. And now buy two, get one free on select foil balloons.
Holy confetti! So the best party started at Staples.
That was easy.
In 613 select stores, exclusions apply. In-store or buy online. Pick up in-store only.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Slow ride in place, South 35E as you come down from I-94 heading toward Randolph, traveling the crosstown. Got slowdowns both directions there between 28th Ave and Gleason. North 169 past 77th Ave. The accident there has been cleared out of the way. Traffic remains tight, though, as you come up from Rockford Road. Terry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
You sit on your deck and you're sick of looking at your crappy siding. Type JTR on your computer for roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and more. JTR Roofing has you covered from the roof on down, serving the Twin Cities Metro. For a free estimate, visit jtrroofinginc.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by JTR Roofing. Pretty uneventful over the next couple days. Tonight, low of 38. Both tomorrow and Thursday, about 57 for the high. Right now, it's 55 on CCO. It is Twins Ticket Tuesday, so make sure you keep listening when you hear that Win Twin sounder be caller 3 to win tickets to the game this Saturday at 1:10 over at Target Field.
Where curiosity hits the gas. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Tell me why ain't nothing but a
Dan, I was excited for you to see that finally, NASA has realized it needs to call in the big guns. It needs nerds like you.
Mm-hmm.
NASA is asking for citizens asking for their help in spotting lunar strikes. Now, my obvious question is, we need randos' help in finding this stuff?
It's kind of a crowdsourcing thing if you think about it, right? There's hundreds and thousands of amateur astronomers out there that have rigs and love to look at the moon, just like me.
Okay.
And so NASA has access, obviously, to a lot of the observatories, but if you can involve that many more people, especially with the moon being as relatively close as it is, you can get really good views on a relatively cheap system. So why not enlist their help? Now, the trick is you've got to have a tracking mount. So it's got to be automatic in terms of it tracking along with the moon. And you have to have video of a certain quality, which that part isn't so hard. I don't have a tracking mount, unfortunately. So I can't.
Do we need to crowdsource?
I mean, if
how
people
much
want to
does
chip
this
in,
cost? What does it cost?
I'd have to go look to.
All right,
but you're talking $1,500, I would think, somewhere in that range.
I'm out.
I kind of figured you would.
I mean, if you said $500, I'm in for $500.
All right, that's a start.
So if anybody else wants to pledge,
wait, is that in lieu of the car washes, or is that what are we talking about?
I'm just glad that
this is cool. This is a cool thing for fans of astronomy to be involved with, and
lunar flashes,
impact flashes. Yeah,
what
the Artemis astronauts were seeing on the far side of the moon. Same thing. You're just looking through a telescope.
Continental diamond. Time check right now, 4:57. I've been looking out my window trying to see flashes ever since I moved into downtown St. Paul.
Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. Hear what they're saying about this brand I love.
Tell me about your experience with the night gummies.
I started using them. I think this is my third order. I heard Jordana on WCCO radio talking about it, and I thought, well, if she's doing it, trying to get off the Ambien, and I started with the pineapple gummies for sleep. That's what I take them for, is sleep. And I've been very pleased with the product. I started with the full gummy. Now I only take half, and that helps me sleep. So I'm very happy with the product, and I'm 70 years old. So.
And those Sleep Night gummies will help her sleep painlessly through the night. Those Sleep Night gummies are a real charm. Check out Mini Leaf's products at MINNELEAF.com. Check out that Triple Diamond Pain Cream, those Sleep Night gummies, or their other great products. I use them. There's so many CCOers that absolutely love them. You will too.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Proud to be the voice of the Twin Cities, Minnesota, and the Upper Midwest. This is News Talk 830 WCCO, 1029 HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. A federal grand jury has indicted former FBI Director James Comey, marking the second time he will be prosecuted by President Trump's Justice Department. This time, the charges stem from an image he briefly shared to Instagram last year. CBS's Katrina Kaufman.
The specific charges we're seeing now are knowingly and willfully making a threat to take the life of and cause bodily harm to the President of the United States. And then another one related to transmitting interstate and foreign commerce, a communication that threatens to kill the president.
Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche.
You prove intent with witnesses, with documents,
with the defendant himself to the extent it's appropriate. And that's how we'll improve intent in this case.
The FCC says it's launching an early review of Disney's ABC television licenses. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
The early license review comes after an FCC probe that was launched last March into Disney's DEI initiatives. FCC Chairman Brendan Carr on the Katie Miller podcast.
There's evidence that suggests that Disney, literally was, dividing and categorizing employees based on race and gender, and potentially, we'll see what the evidence establishes, ultimately giving different opportunities to people based on their race or gender or other protected class.
The review comes a day after President Trump called for late-night host Jimmy Kimmel to be fired. His show is broadcast on Disney's ABC.
Britain's King Charles III has addressed a joint meeting of Congress, becoming only the second British monarch to do so. Congressional leaders invited the king, who spoke of unity between the U.S. and UK.
In both of our countries, it is the very fact of our vibrant, diverse, and free societies that gives us our collective strength.
The TSA has lost a lot of airport workers amid the ongoing partial government shutdown.
The acting TSA administrator tells a House committee that 1,100 of its officers have quit since the shutdown started February 14th. House Democratic Caucus Chair Pete Aguilar says his party has a plan.
We don't want them to be, hurt when we have policy disagreements.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says a bipartisan Senate bill to fund most of DHS has some problematic language, which might mean more delays. Allison Keyes, CBS News, Washington.
After opening statements, Elon Musk takes the stand in a lawsuit surrounding OpenAI, the startup that Musk and Sam Altman co-founded. CBS News Bay Area reporter Victoria Macias.
Not only is Musk asking for billions in damages, but he's also asking for OpenAI CEO Sam Altman to be removed. Elon Musk is alleging that Sam Altman tricked him and that OpenAI strayed from its core mission, which was to develop AI for the benefit of humanity.
CBS News.
Go to the ends of the earth, half a world away. Reach for the stars.
If I take time to think, they might go get Brad.
On CBS, Sunday morning.
Minnesota's trusted voice, every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly sunny, 55 degrees at 5:03. Good evening. I'm Mark Fry. We are learning more this afternoon about several federal and state raids taking place today across the Twin Cities.
22 search warrants were executed at several daycares, adult daycares, and other locations in the Twin Cities as part of a fraud investigation. Along with those federal agents, though, the Minnesota Attorney General's office reported its Medicaid fraud control unit was part of the operation as well. The move, though, has left many in the Somali American community in the Twin Cities on edge after Operation Metro Surge.
We know how all of us have been traumatized by that.
Jailani Hussein is head of the Council on American Islamic Relations Minnesota. He says they welcome the oversight as long as it's fair.
There's still a lot more information to find out about what this investigation may eventually yield.
Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
As Governor Tim Walz nears the end of his term as governor, he's set to deliver his final State of the State address tonight. WCCO radio political analyst Blois Olson says Walz will likely outline some of his successes.
And I think his opportunity is going to be to walk them through how everyday Minnesota is better than it was 7 years ago when he was elected.
Olson also says it appears that Walz has moved after announcing he will not run for a third term, and most recently created a political action committee to help recruit younger candidates to run for office. Rockford High School, northwest of the Twin Cities, evacuated earlier today because of a bomb threat. The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office says someone called the school at 11:20 this morning and said the school would blow up in 15 minutes. Students and staff safely moved out of the area as multiple agencies canvassed the school. No explosives were found. The all clear was given at 12:30 this afternoon. Rockford Area School says there will be an increased law enforcement presence over the coming days. Today marked Workers' Memorial Day at the Minnesota State Capitol, honoring workers who have lost their lives on the job or died from workplace-related illnesses. Dan McConnell is with the Minneapolis Building Trades.
There's something that stays with you when you're on a job site when tragedy occurs. There's a weight of it
There's the question of the loss. There's the emptiness of the chair at the break table where your friend used to sit. There's the reminder that hits you like a gut punch when you come across the tools or the boots that they left behind. And there's that quiet thought in the back of your mind, that could have been me.
And with Nicollet Mall at a crossroads, WCCO's Taylor Rivera is exploring the city's potential plans to transition it from a retail hub to a residential downtown backyard. In this week's series, The Mall's Next Move, the Downtown Council CEO Adam Dunnick says they're focused on developing residential conversions and communal green spaces over traditional department stores. He says that while commercial vacancies remain a challenge, downtown residential occupancy holds steady above 90%.
Apartments and condominiums are filled. Commercial occupancy is a different story, but so if some of these buildings get converted to people living down here, I think there is demand. And the reason that there is because people are right in the middle of the action.
And you can find more on this story at WCCOradio.com. It's 5:06, traffic and weather next.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Fresh down in Bloomington, westbound 494 has moved past Lindale. It is affecting the left lane. Traffic is slow past Portland Avenue. Remain tight as you head up to East Bush Lake Road. The crosstown is slow both directions between Cedar and 100. North 100 is heavy between Highway 62 and 394. Traveling East 94 into St. Paul, that slows up as far back as Franklin. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn McCreevy invites you to a free seminar for pre-planning your funeral and cremation services to help protect your family into the future. Enjoy food, visit with speakers at the Coon Rapids Chapel, Wednesday, April 29th at 11:30 a.m. Information at washburnmccreevy.com or at 612-377-7841.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And the weather is brought to you by Washburn McCreevy Funeral, Cremation, and Pre-Planning Services. Here's Chris Schaefer.
Quiet and cool is the rule for the next couple of days. Partly cloudy tonight, will fall back to 38, so a chilly start tomorrow with a partly cloudy afternoon and a high around 57. Not quite as windy tomorrow. Partly cloudy, mid-50s again Thursday. It's not till the weekend we warm to near average in the 60s.
All right, thank you, Chris. 55, mostly sunny. I'm Mark Fry at News Talk 830 WCCO.
All kinds of talk for all kinds of people.
Well, it's just one big happy family, isn't it?
News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha, fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
Twins Ticket Tuesday today. We haven't given them away yet, have we, Dan?
Not yet.
All right, when you hear the thing, you got to call in at 651-461-9226.
You can't talk in technical radio terms. You have to explain what the thing is.
The thing, they'll hear the thing. It's the thing. It's like a crack of a bat, the cheer of a crowd.
A little bit of the Wind Twins theme.
And then you call.
There you go.
Now, some have complained that by doing caller 3, well, there are various complaints as to why it's caller 3.
Sure.
Some say it's not fair to the people who are listening on like the HD2 signal, 102.9 HD2, which is where I usually listen, or on the stream.
Right, but you can't win, so.
But if you're a smart speaker listener, that's usually about 45 seconds behind live. So caller 3, you don't even have a fighting chance.
Not really.
So you're validating the complaint and saying you don't care?
I'm saying the only way to fix that is to do caller 345, and we're not going to do that. So
the other complaint is that you're just lazy by doing caller 3 instead of caller 10.
Well, that would be a valid complaint if I was the one setting caller 3, but that was the system that was set up above my head. It's above my head.
I thought we could just decide.
No.
Could we just decide?
No.
Why not?
Because the people that we work for have decided caller 3.
It says that on like some form.
Yes, it's all kinds of legalities involved.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I'd get fired if we changed it from caller 3.
So caller 7,
and I know you wouldn't want that. I know you wouldn't want that.
No, I wouldn't. I would not. Thank you. Twins were fun last night.
Hey, got to win, you know.
Their new
Bats woke up.
New young pitcher got his first.
Connor Prelip had a no through 4.
So Connor Prelip, they interview him after
barely
the game.
Finished the 5th, but he had a no through 4.
Did you see the interview with Audra Martin and him?
I did not.
It was so bad.
Really?
That's
not Audra's fault though. She's great.
No,
She's great.
It was not Audra's. And then Marnie Gellner afterwards is like, man, a few words.
You know,
it's a team effort.
Not all pitchers are loquacious. What are you gonna do?
It is funny. If you want to see something truly hideous on the live video stream now.
You start unbuttoning things, I get a little nervous.
Tonight, no one's going to be listening to the State of the State address. No one ever cares about the State of the State address.
Not really.
Who cares? Why do we make these guys do this stuff? It's just so they can have a news story.
I was going to say, do we make them or do they choose?
Oh,
boy.
I am wearing...
Now, hold on. Oh, my God. I just realized what that was.
This is a shirt that Dave Schwartz gave me and you that is for the Minnesota Wild. The Wild play at 7 o'clock tonight. Even more reason that no one's going to be listening to the State of the State at 7 o'clock because we're all going to be watching the Wild. And I am wearing a sort of Hawaiian-themed Margaritaville shirt.
Great place, Margaritaville. We're big fans.
That has like Minnesota Wild logo on it.
Isn't that kind of a pajama top?
Not if you believe. Not if you believe enough. I think you got it. This is why you have to watch the video stream.
I admire your confidence, sir. I could not pull it off. I really couldn't.
When I was wearing this earlier, I'll show you how I styled this earlier. So I'm giving people a chance to get to our live stream on YouTube at WCCO Radio or on Facebook, the WCCO Radio page, and then you'll be able to see that. Let's bring you up to date on everything going on in the news that we care about. We call this the DeRUSH Hour News Headlines.
The headlines you might have missed without missing a beat. This is your fast pass through the biggest and most impactful stories of the day. Welcome to the DeRush Hour Headlines, starting with the lead.
Big story of the day is the federal agents who are out serving 22 search warrants targeting fraud. Federal agents, the FBI, along with Department of Homeland Security, a number of different agents. The state is saying they're a part of this as well. I would say, excellent. Let's go. Let's go bust some people. There has been so much talk about fraud, and I feel like it's mostly been backward looking. Everyone's sort of playing their political game. Now, there have been a number of people prosecuted, in defeating our future scandal. But today, 22 sites, including child care centers and autism providers, were raided. All we know is that the warrants related to fraud. No criminal charges. The search warrants are still sealed. The state, Tim Walz on social media today, took, I wouldn't say he took credit. Would you, Dan, characterize it as taking credit? I would say.
Yeah, that's exactly how I'd characterize it.
I guess he did.
And if you want to spin it, positively for him, it's, hey, us too. We were here too. But no, it sort of seemed like he was taking credit for something that he had very little to do with. So,
I mean, we don't know. We don't know what the search warrants were about. We don't know what the reason for the raids were. We do know that state officials have very slowly and very belatedly identified incidents of fraud. But I do think we also can be serious that if it wasn't for the Department of Justice and the federal intervention on these cases, I don't know, will we ever have had any prosecutions of this? I'm skeptical. The governor said the raids happened because our state agencies caught irregular behavior and reported it. FBI Director Kash Patel said, come again? The FBI and DOJ with our DHS partners drafted and executed every search warrant today. I would say we've got a lot of smoke right now. And if there's fire, I hope these people are held accountable. Prosecute. Because there are people who need autism services, who need daycare, who need food. And these fraudsters make me sick. So I'm glad that the federal government is taking action. I think we all can agree on this. The chief judge here in the Twin Cities did a rare interview with Fox 9 last night talking about the emotional toll that the federal courts were feeling during the ICE raid. Pretty interesting stuff as Chief Judge Patrick Schiltz talked about being overwhelmed with the number of cases. They had about 100 times more cases than all of 2024 in just 3 months. And one of the things he said that struck me is he said, as chief judge, anytime you were doing something that was not work, you kind of felt guilty. Like you should be working because somebody might really be harmed by the fact that I went to the movie or I went to dinner with friends. Schultz said, look, I'm not going to comment on individual cases or policies or whatever. My job was to uphold the rule of the law. It doesn't matter if they were the best of the best or the worst of the worst. This court has to decide, has your rights been violated? And have you been, are you here in the country illegally? And so then it goes forward. College kids are looking right now. Man, imagine having a kid about to go into college. College kids are changing course in search of AI-proof majors. The Associated Press telling a story of a young woman who went to college 2 years ago with a plan. She was majoring in business analytics, hoping she'd learn niche skills that would stand out on a resume, help her land a good job after college. But now statistical analysis and coding can easily be automated. She switched to marketing. You don't want to just be able to code. College students saying picking a major that's AI-proof feels like shooting at a moving target. What skills, what majors are needed? Human skills. So the tech skills that were so hot, I don't know, when my dumb kids went off to college. Now they're looking for soft skills, for communication, for thought. I certainly love seeing the subhead in this story. Anxiety also reaches computer science majors. Yeah. And their parents. That's the DeRUSH Hour News headlines. The lead. In-depth coming up as the federal government and the Federal Communications Commission goes after Disney-owned TV stations, not Channel 5, because they're owned locally by the Hubbards, but the ABC stations owned by the network. Is this because of Jimmy Kimmel? Is this because of DEI? What is going on? We'll talk to a journalist based in the Twin Cities who covers the entertainment industry, Rick Ellis, in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Oh, Dan wants me to talk about ProTurf. I was just waiting if we were going to hear, like you guys, are we going to hear the Twins thing? Are we giving away the tickets? No. First, we're talking about your lawn. We're talking about ProTurf. I love, I'll talk about them all day because these people have transformed my yard. Locally based, more than 40 years in the Twin Cities. ProTurf is awesome. The guy who takes care of my yard comes out, and some of the year he's doing granular, some of the year he's doing liquid fertilizer. They designed a solution just for my yard. They'll do the same for you. They come to your yard, do an in-person estimate. But he's been doing that same route for more than 20 years. There's 2 team members at ProTurf who've been there for more than 20 years. Pretty cool. They do more than fertilizing and weed control. They were out last week at my house to start up the sprinkler system, the irrigation system, and they found leaks. They found issues. Awesome. I love paying that bill because it saves me money when I've turned on that water and that water's not leaking all over the place. Saving water is important to me too. Now, if you need a landscape design, go to ProTurf. Small, large. A lot of companies won't do a small landscaping project. ProTurf, they just want to help you enjoy your home. 952-469-8680. You can reach out for a free estimate on their website too. ProfessionalTurf.com.
We're gonna win, Twins, we're gonna score.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Hey, Jordana, I'm Brian. I'm 58 and single. I have a house, a bunch of investments. I have a sister I'm close to, but no kids or anything tying me down, so I never really worried about planning for the future. Recently, a friend of mine passed away unexpectedly without a will or a trust, and it created a huge mess for the family he left behind. I don't want to be a burden on my sister. I want to be prepared. So why should I choose Gutman Law?
Hi, Brian. Your instincts are correct. If you were to do nothing, the state would decide who's in charge and how to distribute your assets, which is probably not what you want. And your sister will have a lot to sort out by herself. Now, this is the reason why I chose Gutman Law. My family, Matt and Jamie, were so sensitive to the nuances of my situation after a divorce. An estate plan is more than just names and numbers on a piece of paper. It's family. Making it easy on them is what matters most. From healthcare directives to wills to living trusts, Gutman Law can help you determine what type of planning makes sense to protect you and your loved ones. 612-895-1616 or go to mnestatelaw.com. Gutman Law, giving you peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-323-8922. 800-323-8922. You have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. 800-323-8922.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
He's known for the slow burn. He wanted to keep it organic, and I'm still begging for it. More controversy.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
DeRush Hour news headlines, going in depth now on a story that just keeps growing. What started with the Trump White House calling for Jimmy Kimmel to be fired. The day after today, the Trump Federal Communications Commission has announced that it is starting a full-on, essentially, investigation of the TV stations that ABC owns. Jimmy Kimmel's on ABC. Rick Ellis is an independent journalist covering television and the entertainment industry, and he joins us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Rick, give me your impression of this, because this isn't unprecedented, but it's pretty close.
Well, part of it is just weird timing. When I first heard the news, my inclination, like everyone else's, was, it has something to do with Jimmy Kimmel's comments. It turns out that really this has been in the works for a while, but it just so happened to fall right after these comments. If you go back about a month, the head of the FCC was claiming that ABC was involved in all these secret DEI programs and that he was going to investigate them. And apparently this particular license renewal process is connected with that, although I'm sure Kimmel's comments didn't slow things down any.
Yeah. I think we often think of television stations. Maybe it's worth explaining to people that the federal government really has no jurisdiction over ABC itself as a network, but they have jurisdiction over the local stations that use sort of the public airwaves to broadcast, right?
Right. I mean, there's an approval that has to happen from the station owner part. And then there's a separate thing that the network has to get approval to have their programming on the network, on the local station. Now, these 8 stations that are getting their license looked at again are all owned by Disney.
Got it.
So that sort of combines the pressure of not only if it went against Disney, they could lose the rights to air ABC programming, but they could lose the rights to own the stations if it was really horrible. I don't think anyone anticipates that. I don't honestly think that anyone thinks it's going to go against Disney. What it will involve, though, is months, if not years, of legal costs and aggravation, and the Trump administration can point to, oh, see, they're doing this and we're investigating them. Like a lot of this stuff and legal threats, it's just talking points and costing companies a lot of money.
Yeah, and the other factor, as we talk with Rick Ellis, is that this can have a chilling effect on speech, right? Because, okay, the odds that the licenses of the ABC station in Chicago and LA and New York, that those licenses are not going to be renewed, give me a break, almost zero. But the fact that it's going to cost a lot of money, does that make some local executives say, I don't know if we should do this full investigation, or I don't know if we should run edgy comedy or political comedy like Kimmel does?
Well, we're at the point now where this is so complicated that you basically need a whiteboard and a bunch of markers to try and keep track of it. But it's interesting that while this is going on, there's also a big local TV station merger,
right?
And it was approved by the government, and then it's been blocked in court. After Kimmel's comments on Thursday, unlike the first time that there was controversy with the show, none of those groups said anything. Everyone was really quiet. His show aired last night that was supposed to, because they want that merger to be approved. So their outrage is very muted because they need that approval. They need to get it through court. And so in one way, that's also easier for Disney and for ABC because they don't have to deal with the local stations throwing a hissy fit and saying, we're going to pull Kimmel, blah, 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 because they don't want to screw anything up for them. It's, like I said, it's an incredibly complex, a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Everyone trying to protect themselves, really.
The FCC does have the legal authority to call in licenses for early renewal. That's what this is. The ABC licenses weren't due to come up for renewal until 2028. They do have the authority to do this. What is, is there any possible defense of this? I mean, is there any historical precedent of this sort of thing at such a wide scale level?
I mean, it's never happened in this wide scale level, and it's not a particularly common thing. Generally, when it's done for a less political reason. The perfect example is the last time that this happened. Last week, a local station group was got a similar thing brought against them. In that case, it was because the station group went bankrupt, and then they transferred the licenses to another company owned by the same owner. So the FCC is saying, look, you can't do that. And that's a more legitimate use. And typically when these things happen, it's for something like that, where, they're secretly combining businesses, or there's something like that going on. It's extremely rare for this to happen, even for one station. And I went back through the records. I couldn't find any other sort of DEI related actions. This is all new ground. And like I said, I don't think anyone in the industry believes that it's going to end up going against Disney. It's just, it's going to be at least a year's worth of legal back and forth, unless
the process is the thing, right, Rick? It's not the actual result. It's that you put somebody through the ringer for a year or two.
Yeah, and it's also a good reminder that you can try and buy off the Trump administration, but it doesn't help you. I mean, ABC famously gave them a ton of money because to settle the last time that they had legal problems with the Trump administration, and that didn't solve them at all. So the other networks have to be looking at that. Other media companies have to be looking at that and thinking, well, why do I settle now if anything comes up? Because it's not going to protect me in the future.
That's right.
So why not just fight it now and get it over with?
Rick Ellis has a Substack that is called Too Much TV. His website is allyourscreens.com. Rick, we appreciate your insight. Thank you.
Anytime.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Snap is enlisting Qualcomm to revive Snap's Specs smart glasses. Snap's last generation of Specs debuted in 2019, but the Snapchat parent announced a partnership with Qualcomm to power the augmented reality glasses with the chipmaker's Snapdragon processors. Specs are described as see-through glasses that enable users to see, hear, and interact with digital content just like it's in the physical space. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks so you can make smarter decisions faster. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Talking construction law today with Blake Nelson, an attorney from Helmuth & Johnson. Blake, why is having the right legal support so important?
One delay, one payment issue, or one contract mistake can put an entire project at risk and be the difference between making and losing money. In Minnesota, contract terms, timing, and documentation matter.
How does Helmuth & Johnson help?
We help contractors, subcontractors, and property owners protect their rights, get paid, and keep projects moving.
Learn more at hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side, for all your construction law needs.
Hi, this is Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Since taking office, I have delivered more than $65 million in investments back to our district. I'm also fighting to hold ICE agents accountable in Minneapolis. First and foremost, my office is here to help you. If you need to resolve issues with your Social Security or veteran benefits, please reach out to my team at omar.house.gov. When Washington isn't working for you, I will.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of
Chad
Representatives.
back here with you. I want to talk about trust and peace of mind. We all need it, in particular in some areas, including your insurance. Maybe it's for your business, or maybe it's more traditional with your house and your car. For me, I have trusted Amber Scholl and Associates with American Family for, what are you guessing, 5 years, 10 years? No. My entire family, whether it's my father or my kids, with American Family, with Amber in particular, for 30 years. We dread something bad happening with our house, with a car accident, but we need people with expertise, with professionalism and availability, and that's what Amber and her team are all about. Reach out to them today. It's worth it. Trust me. 651-738-4811.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, you! Yeah, I'm talking to you!
we got a show and it's Guys and Dolls at Chanhassen and Dinner Theaters. It's terrific and delicious because you got dinner and a show. Don't take my word, everybody's loving it. The Pioneer Press called it a must-see. Star Tribune called it eye-popping and blazing with brilliance. I heard a lady from Eden Prairie say this is the best show she's ever seen at the Chan. Grab your doll or your guy. Get your family over here for Guys and Dolls. Visit ChanhassenDT.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Going to find your slowdowns in place, traveling 494 in both directions between Portland Avenue and Highway 100. Crosstown westbound slows. 35W as you head out toward Tracy Avenue. 394 eastbound is jammed up 100 into Minneapolis. Save on tropical finds at Whole Foods Market. Get 4 yellow mangoes for $5 with Prime through April 28th. Make a vibrant fruit-loaded smoothie or a spicy salsa to top zesty tacos. While supplies last, shop in store online. Terms apply. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you have trees to trim or need tree removal, call an ISA certified arborist. Call the CCO Land Company I use. B&M Tree Service, 1-800-569-9034. Or get on the web, bnmtree.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
B&M Tree Service bringing us the forecast from Chris Schaefer.
A nice night tonight, albeit a bit cool. Partly cloudy. We'll fall back to about 38 by tomorrow morning. Partly cloudy tomorrow afternoon with a high of 57. We'll keep that mix of sun and clouds for the rest of the week. Actually, into the weekend, we'll be stuck in the 50s until Saturday and Sunday when we finally warm to the 60s.
Sunny, 55, a little bit of breeze out there, 11-mile-an-hour wind. That makes it feel like 44 on CCO.
The ride home deserves better conversation. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
So my wife and I talk about this a lot. I am motivated by money, and she is not. And so sometimes you see driving around, you see those cars that are wrapped with like some company logo on it or some sort of advertisement. And I've always been a little intrigued, you know? Like if CCO Radio would toss an extra $2,000 in my paycheck every month, would I drive around in a WCCO Radio wrapped vehicle? Yeah. Is $2,000 the right? How much would they have to pay you, Dan Cook, to drive around in like a company wrapped car?
Do I have to pay to get the car wrapped? Or they just say, here's a car with our logo on it, drive this around?
That's it.
I mean, I'd do that for like $500 a month.
$500 a month?
Sure.
Well, you don't drive around very much.
No, and it takes care of my car payment.
I feel like it's people like you that undervalue and undercut.
Well, I would see. Well, see, this is the thing.
My driving will be worth much more.
Right. Well,
more miles. And it's me. Very famous.
It's you. But here's the thing. That would be my instinct to say, I don't know if I'd take my car payment, whatever.
Right.
But what I know now is that if I'm offered an opportunity like that, the first phone call I make is to one Jason DeRusha to say, hey, how much should I be charging?
I'll negotiate you about it.
Because I know you'd tell me.
Well, you don't want to negotiate against yourself, right? What's your budget for a project like that?
Yeah, there you go.
I bring this up because, Dan, you were walking through the Skyways today.
Yes, I was.
And sometimes life brings you a showtime.
Yes, it did. And I knew as soon as it happened.
And so you see a guy.
So there was a guy, he was wearing what looked like a backpack, but it was circular instead of the usual kind of rectangular looking backpack. This one was just straight up circular. And it had what looked like a video screen on it. It was like, if you've seen, the video billboards where they're there and then they change and then they're there and they change. That's what this was doing. It was actually changing even more often than the video billboard. It was for a consistent company or a consistent place of business.
Okay.
But it was just different logos and you couldn't take your eyes off it, which is, I'm sure, what the design was.
And what was he advertising?
He was advertising the Downtown Cabaret.
Okay.
Which is, an establishment that
that's like
some people frequent from time to time.
Just like a music joint, like they have
there's
pizza.
music there and there's food there. And that was part of the advertisement was the food, by the way.
There appears to be a pole.
Yes.
At the cabaret.
And a lot of women for some reason. I don't know why.
All right.
But yeah, there's a whole lot of
this
women there.
Gent was advertising that. So the question is, what would you walk
Well,
around?
I'm assuming he was earning some sort of money.
Maybe he owns it.
Maybe he does.
Or maybe they just give him.
Or they said, hey, wear this backpack. We'll, give you $50 an hour or something. I don't know.
Maybe he gets kind of credit, like a gift card at the cabaret.
You never know.
I don't know.
But I'm sure he got something for it.
I bet.
And that made me think.
I bet he did.
If you had a backpack with a video board on the back of it and you were walking around with that, what brand, what business, what product would you want to be advertising? Maybe it's the Downtown Cabaret. I don't know.
I'm a little distracted by the website for the Downtown
Really?
Cabaret. Well, they have $5 lunch specials, and that's
great food, I hear. Yeah.
Till 7 p.m.
Lunch special till 7?
But the night goes long.
Apparently.
Apparently. I don't know. What would you advertise for? 651-461-9226. If you could, company of your dream, could be local, could be big time, whatever.
Sure.
But what would you walk around with a backpack?
I have
Do you
two.
have an answer?
Oh, I have multiple answers, but I'll
And you're a pretty cheap date, so if any of the companies are listening.
I am. I have two answers, but neither of which will surprise you.
Okay.
Both of which will probably annoy you.
All right.
The first answer would be NASA.
Yeah.
And I would want a trip down to Florida for the Artemis 4 launch.
Okay.
To be part of that'd be the payment for that. It's an all expenses paid trip for the Artemis 4 launch in 2028. The other answer would be, and this is more of a business answer, there's a website called High Point Scientific, which carries, you want to guess?
I mean, obviously it's like space nerd.
It's telescope equipment. Yes. Yeah, telescope equipment.
Yeah.
Because I could do some serious damage.
Well, the trade, you would. And
yeah.
that's And that's a good deal for them,
Yeah,
right? So
sure.
you say hey, I'll take merchandise credit.
Mm-hmm.
Because that way you're happy to get $100 in credit. And they're like, we marked this crap up. I mean, 60% already.
I'd ask more than $100.
What would you want? What is if you're into astronomy, it's the same as I want a new camera.
Yeah.
So all I get on TikTok right now are ads for camera or people testing their camera or bragging about their camera or whatever. And it makes me want it even more. I want a dang camera. What is your, what do you lust after in the...
If I could have anything I want,
telescope,
it would be a 14-inch Dobsonian telescope with an automatic tracking mount on it. As Jason furiously searches.
No, I'm curious what this is.
It's the big tube telescopes.
Okay.
And the 14 inches would be the diameter or the diameter of the aperture.
These are, so I'm looking at a 12-inch.
Yeah.
It's $1,300.
Right.
That's not bad for you think about the level of entertainment you get out of the thing.
Sure. If that's not, obnoxious money to you, you'd get great views with that thing. I mean, that particular one that you've pulled up would need some upgrades on it. But then I would want one that was attached to a mount where you could literally program stuff in. This is where I want it to point, and it would, point itself. So you're not just searching around all the time. And then it would be able to track. So you'd get long exposures. If you were doing photography, you get some long exposures with the tracking mount. Yeah, that'd be more the deal right there.
It's about $4,000 for that.
Yeah.
For a hardcore hobby, and you stream on TikTok so people can find you.
Yep. If you just
there.
Dan Cook MN is all my socials. Dan Cook MN.
I think my answer is also obvious. What I would proudly, you want to guess?
Minnesota pork.
Oh yeah. Well, I think you were thinking more highly of me
Of course. How I did not come up with this, I'm ashamed of myself. I honestly, I want to turn my microphone off and not talk for the rest of the hour.
I mean,
because of course I should have guessed that you would want to advertise Jason DeRusha.
I thought it was a sort of a layup that you would
It's
guess.
only a layup. It's only a layup. It's a little it's like I'm like Rudy Gobert missing a bunny right there. You know,
it happens. Sometimes you're right there and like I would advertise. I mean, I have a real nice logo, you know?
Yeah, it's a great logo.
All right. It's sort of a goofy answer. What would I really, So like Continental Diamond would be a good one. Like
Sure.
Continental Diamond, they
you're
pay.
you're a watch hound.
I love a
some
watch.
watches,
They
yeah.
pay the station, but like they're not giving me a free watch.
No.
So like,
But they
would I walk around with like a backpack that says Continental Diamond on it all day?
for a free watch?
Yes.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would.
I would do that. What would you guys walk around for? 651-461-9226. I mean, just wearing a backpack.
Are we in trouble because neither of us said WCCO radio? Are we gonna get a
note from the boss?
We do have a meeting tomorrow, you know.
Well, I would say, Dan, that we both know what the marketing budget is for WCCO
That's true.
radio.
That's an excellent point.
So, like, if there were a budget, for sure.
They couldn't afford the backpack, much less pay somebody to wear it.
I do think, like, so it's a funny part of my life, right? That, like, sometimes company, they pay to advertise. They pay not because I'm some sort of genius, but like they want to reach my audience.
Yeah.
And I think people find me trustworthy.
You're a conduit.
But like, if you could get something free, something like your telescope, something you really want.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you? Wouldn't you like, I mean, where would you draw the line? Like, would you do a bumper?
Downtown Cabaret. Probably that's where I'd drop the line.
You wouldn't advertise?
I would not advertise for the Downtown Cabaret.
I mean, I thought I wouldn't advertise for the Downtown Cabaret until I went to the website. And then I'm
Texter has a good one.
I'm intrigued.
I'm sure you are. They can watch what you're looking at online, Jason. Be careful. Texter says Delta.
I checked in the break to make sure it was safe. Oh, Delta.
Delta for travel benefits. That's a good one.
Delta, that is very good. I've been looking for a flight for Alyssa's 50th birthday. Alyssa turns 50 on May 22nd, and she wants to go somewhere.
Sure.
So I've been shopping for trips, and I'm thinking about, we have never sat first class. Normally we sit, we buy like the basic, like we'll let you on the plane if we're in a good mood ticket.
Right.
And I thought it'd be cool for her birthday to do first class.
That's an excellent idea.
So I've been looking, but I will certainly, like, if Delta, look at the shirt I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
It's a hideous Hawaiian shirt that Alyssa, when I walked in the office, she said, "Oh no."
What kind of tickets are you getting for wearing this?
Yeah. How many men out there can relate, though, to walking in and seeing their wife and being told, "Oh no"?
Yeah, a lot.
Texter says, I do a full loop of the Skyway every day before work. I'll definitely wear the WCCO radio backpack.
I mean, that's awesome.
I mean, I can send you a Jason DeRusha tote bag. That's all I can do.
I don't think
it's not quite
the same thing.
I mean, I think it looks very nice, the Jason DeRusha tote bag. 5:49. We'll take a break. Drive time back in just a bit.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Maybe you want a Tureen Dermatology shirt. Is Jason here for my friends at Tureen Dermatology? I actually have a Tureen Dermatology hat. And why do I have a Tureen Dermatology hat? Because Dr. Mohiba Tureen did not want me sitting on the sideline watching my kid's soccer game without putting a hat over my head. She is concerned about sunscreen and sun protection and sunburn, and you should be as well. The data shows just one severe burn can increase your risk for melanoma. Minnesota, one of the top 3 states of melanoma diagnosis in the country. Skin cancer is something I do not take a chance with. My father has had a number of cancerous growths removed off his face, off his shoulder. And this stuff is genetic. It's hereditary. And so I go to Tureen Dermatology once a year for a full body skin checkup. Now, if you have a mark or a mole that has changed shape, changed size, changed color, maybe something that has suddenly appeared that wasn't there before, a quick skin check, it's a good idea. And Tureen Dermatology will get you in within 3 weeks. Tareen, Tureen Dermatology. They have 10 locations from Hudson to Matamita, all over the Twin Cities. They will get you in. Go to that one website, book an appointment, get to Tureen Dermatology today.
It gets still before it happens. 17 at Hazeltine. There's watching it. And then there's being there. You feel it in your chest. Thousands rise. One shot, and everything explodes. The KPMG Women's PGA Championship returns June 25th through the 28th. And Club PGA puts you right by the 17th green. Shaded, comfortable, drink in hand, with the best view of the moment everyone comes to see. This is where it happens. Get your Club PGA access now at WCCORadio.com/events.
Support comes from Amazon Business. You can't rely on guesswork to run your business. With Smart Business Buying, innovative AI tools optimize your purchasing experience, paired with delivery options built for business. Empower your team today. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic, the delicious daily detox that will keep you feeling your best. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon or pick up some at your local CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Attention taxpayers, if you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and missed the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000. And they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated.
Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority Tax Relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-798-8519. 800-798-8519. 800-798-8519.
Priority Tax Relief. Hi, I'm Dr. Mary Claire Haver, a board-certified OBGYN and menopause specialist. My new podcast, Unpaused, is the place for bold, unfiltered conversations about what it really takes for women to thrive in the second half of life. Every week, I sit down with medical experts, cultural icons, and powerhouse women to talk about what really matters. New episodes drop every Tuesday. Listen to and follow Unpaused with me, Dr. Mary Claire Haver, available now wherever you get your podcasts.
They look hot, they drive like a dream, and the value, you've got to get to Luther Kia Bloomington. It's Jason DeRusha. I just brought my Kia in for service there. It was such a great experience. My Kia is as good as new. Dan Dingman and the Luther Kia Bloomington team, just the best. From the 35 miles per gallon hybrid Kia Telluride and Sorento SUVs to the under $30,000 K5 sedan. Check out your dream car today at LutherKiaBloomington.com or stop in and tell them Jason sent you.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Slowdowns continue. North 100, Benton heading up to 394. North 169 slows as you come up from Bren Road toward 394. East 394 itself, that's jammed up. Penn to 94. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Gutman Law, wills, trust, and probate law. GutmanLaw.com bringing us the forecast. Twins game looks nice tonight. Partly cloudy, little breezy, low of 38. Tomorrow, 57. Same deal on Thursday. We're sort of locked below average until the weekend. The average is 62. Right now, 55 on the big 830 WCCO.
Jason DeRusha.
You can't have people telling you 24/7 that you're great. You need people around you to say, hey, that's a bad idea.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jack Daniels got a history. There's a party downtown near Fifth Street. Everybody at the bar.
All right, Twins baseball on the air tonight. They had a nice win last night. And so they broke that 5-game losing streak. And to celebrate, we gave away a 4-pack of tickets to the Saturday game, May 2nd, Twins Toronto at 1:10. So 2 day games this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And the Sunday day game, kids get free ice cream.
Yeah, and it's actually Sunday is an early one. It's an 11:45 first pitch because they're on Peacock, I believe. I'll be at that Sunday game.
You know, maybe I'll go to the game. I'm not doing anything this weekend.
Yeah, come on over.
So pretty good. Nice Connor Prelip start.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Cody Clemens with 5 RBI.
5 RBI, man.
It was fun. It was just a fun. When Byron got one.
When that team gets the bats going, it's a fun team to watch.
You can tell the offense there. It's what's going to make them interesting to watch all season.
Yeah, exactly.
I think. Megan Brownton won that 4-pack of tickets. So congrats. First 10,000 fans Saturday at the game Meg's going to get a Twins fishing lure.
And Toronto games are always fun because you get a bunch of Canadians down there and they like to get rowdy and have fun. So, but they're very polite about it.
Continental Diamond time right now is 5:57. Continental Diamond at 394 in Park Place Boulevard. Their selection of pre-owned watches is absolutely through the roof as you start thinking about graduation season, Father's Day. Think about ContinentalDiamond.com. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Twins!
It's true. Taking a cash offer for your home is the easiest way to sell it, let's face it. But why would you want to leave tens of thousands of dollars on the table? When you hired the John Schuster Group Coldwell Banker Realty, you can still sell your home fast without sacrificing any money.